almost triggered my phone live, goddammit. Hi everyone, how are we all doing today? Hope everybody lovely. Traffic Sunday. Hello, Ekukini. Welcome. Hope your day has been well. I'm choking on my saliva, which is a great start to the stream. Wait a second. But it is Sapphic Sunday once again, which means, you guessed it, it is time for some more Our Horror My Keeper, a lovely game made by Ebi Hime and Sir Elon in collaboration with each other, which is a very lovely story I've been enjoying so far. If you are interested in sapphic / girls love / Yuri visual novels, definitely check this game out. It has been really good so far. I've really been enjoying how much I've been reading. I've been enjoying what I've read so far. I can't word today, which is gonna bode really well for a reading game. A game where I have to read dialogue to y'all. But give me a second, I fucking cracked my fingernail, I realized, and I need to cut that off, which is great. I should have done that before, but I realize now it's gonna bother me if I don't do it now. But hope we're having a lovely Sunday so far. Last time we had another bizarre little nightmare. Nightmares that have been plaguing Paige for the past while now, this past few nights. And this one was about something led to the lake, I believe, and I mean, a body being found in the lake. I hypothesized, I guessed, it might have been maybe a memory from Faye, our lovely little brownie / fairy friend. Not sure if I'm right or not. But when Paige went to go for a little stroll for some fresh air to get her mind off of all the negativity that the imps are feeding her, or feeding off of her, and vice versa, she ran into the schoolgirl that she encountered a week or so after moving in. The one who was warning her about the home and telling her to move out. And they struck a little deal because it turns out the girl knows a bit about the previous tenant, Miss Brow. I don't remember her name. Previous tenant of the house. And so Paige and the girl struck a little deal that she would take her to go get pizza if the girl told Paige about a little bit of the previous tenant. We also learned that the girl's name was Violet. A very lovely name. I know a good amount of a few Violets out there. Unfortunately, I have at least one Violet. And yeah, little fun little things. Hello phone, what do you fucking want? What are you yelling at me for? What do you want? Nothing important? Great. Why are you yelling at me on the phone? But yeah, that's roughly where we are. But yeah. And after Paige learned about that, he was like, okay, that's a bit sad. Because the previous tenant had 2 children. I believe they're twins. Or just have 2 children in general. I don't remember. But she had 2 children, and when she grew old, and her husband walked and killed himself in the lake. Walked the lake behind the house in the backyard, which is a bit concerning in general, you know, and stuff. And when she grew old, the children moved her to a retirement home to the behest, despite her complaining and despite her protests against it. She felt like she was kind of attached to the home, and it was real sad. And she kind of ended up dying after being moved over to the retirement home, which is quite a dark thing to find out about the previous tenants. But we know. Paige knows. We know. Violet, I'm not sure if she knows. But Faye probably also knows as well. But that the reason she died and her husband, was driven to drown himself was due to the influence. Real bad imps in the house. And Paige is choosing to not tell Faye that she knows about the previous tenants, which I still don't know the name of. For now. Because obviously she probably has a reason. Faye probably has a reason for not telling her. And we're just gonna trust that. It's probably a good reason. But another lovely thing is when Paige returned, she found that Faye was trying to make her tea, but her tiny body was not letting her, so Paige decided to make a plan to call up the lovely Neve to see if her meet up and to see if we could get her a more proper body that was more like larger body. And in doing so, on when they meet them the next day, I believe, Paige revealed to Neve that Faye is real. Her doll is living and has a little brownie inhabiting her. And Neve agreed to give, I guess, Faye and Paige one of Neve's old kind of rejected projects, kind of neglected projects, I guess I could say is better, which were more human, more life-sized dolls, with their three. There was a brunette, a blonde, I believe, and a conveniently black-haired and curly, a little black-haired, curly-ish hair, wavy hair, humanized doll that looks all like funnily similar to the one that that Paige already got. I'm not gonna fault the reuse of assets because they spent a lot of time and probably money on the assets of the sprites, and they just want to reuse them, which is very understandable, but it's just very funny. It's like, oh. And also conveniently, Neve had the exact same clothing that Faye was already wearing. Wow. Sounds like she based the clothing off of the things she already had. It's silly. Anyways. But that's where we are. And we left off when Paige and Paige and Faye just got home. And they're just about to re-enter the home. And I'm not sure what we're going to find there. But I am excited. With now that Faye has a more human-sized body. That maybe they could do a little late night cuddling. Little hugs. Who knows? Faye keeping Paige safe by giving her nice little hugs in the bed. I'm a big fan of that. But yeah. That's roughly where we are. I believe we're at chapter what? Chapter 16. We reached chapter 16. And if you don't want to get spoiled further than chapter 16, check the game yourself. It is in the pinned Twitch message in chat, and also will be in the YouTube VOD description. YouTube VOD description. It is a very lovely game. It is currently how much is it on Steam? The page, the link for Twitch and the Steam page are pinned and in the description. It is currently about 20 Canadian, which I am gonna roughly guess is about maybe 16 USD. I don't know how much it costs. Actually, check if I go to the Twitch page. I believe it should tell me in USD. 15 USD. I was gonna say 15, but I wasn't sure if that was too lowballing the number of going from 1950 to 15 USD. It's 15 USD. It is a very lovely game. It is really, really cute, and I'm loving it so far. But yeah, enough to do that for now. let's go and jump into the game. To chapter 16. Actually, this is the right one, right? I'm checking. Is the right one? Yes. Yes, this is it. Yes. And what were we talking about? We're talking about normal. Sorry, I'm just reminding myself. A strange couple. Strange couple. I see. Talk about how they make a little strange couple, and it is really cute because, you know, one's a human, one's a fae, one's a brownie to be specific. But anyways, when feels like that, I feel like a fool for being so worried. I must be getting tired. Faye might not need rest, but I really should get some sleep. That was the plan, at least, but... oh no. What are we going to do? I sit, cross-legged, upon my bed, my arms folded. I've since changed my pajamas and brushed my teeth. A glance at the digital clock on my bedside table tells me it's 23:30. Faye, her part, was simply changed into the plain white gown she was wearing when she first awoke in Neve's atelier. Adorable. I love her. The dress shows off quite a bit of skin, but I don't mind that. I think it suits her. I do mind the fact that she's already made herself at home. Beneath my covers, however. She doesn't even ask for permission first. Do you really mean to spend the night in my bed, Faye? Yes, I do. Faye beams prettily, as though this should be common sense. Why do you ask? Is there some sort of issue with this arrangement? You could say that it seems a little, intimate. The last time I shared a bed with anyone was... geez, I can't even remember the last time that was. When the last time was, if I can't read, I'm interpolating too much. A little bit too much words there. I used to spend nights curled up with Neve. Back when we were dating. But that was a very long time ago. I've had a few flings since then. They never really stuck. It's been over a year since my last affair, if you can be called that. I don't think that lasted for more than an evening. I definitely progressed to the sharing a bed stage. I'm starting to feel self-conscious, but Faye seems none the wiser. Never know that, Paige. I said I would watch over you when you first met. I fully intend to uphold my word. I don't want to leave your side, not even for an instant. I can't let those wicked imps harm you. I understand your concerns and I appreciate them. This is all feeling very sudden. It isn't sudden. Though, I've been watching you sleep for weeks already. You didn't seem to take any issue with it then. That's because you were less than a foot tall, and you were sitting on the bedside table. It's a bit different now that you're the same size as me. A little bit tall, actually. Look at that. What's different?
It doesn't need to be. I'm still me, no matter what I look like. That hasn't changed. I'm the same sweet, lovable Faye I've always been.
We love her. Love Hard Eyes as well. It's so cute. Big fan, big fan, big fan. Pat, 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 pat.
Besides, your bed is pretty big. There's more than enough room for the two of us. We don't even have to touch. You can face the wall if you want, and I can look at your back. I'll observe you, but I won't get too close to you. I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
Well, I know Faye means well, but that makes it even harder to explain that it's too late for such concerns. I already feel uncomfortable. It's easier to think of Faye as an inanimate object when she was tiny enough I could hold her in my arms. Now she's the same size as me. However, I have to contend with the reality that she's a sentient being not so different than I. I'm aware of this already, of course, but...
Paige, have I done something to upset you?
Oh no, you haven't. You're fine.
Are you sure?
Faye blinks. Her lashes are so long. She put the entire pantheon of fairy tale princesses to shame.
We had a fun day, but you're acting so distantly now. It really does feel like I've done something.
Little fox,
Sorry.
I have but one wish.
You're right, Astra. How are you
Please be
doing?
happy.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those who don't know me, I'm Susan, the Dream Walker and Nightmares or Dreams, if there's that, but why there's nightmares? That's kind of weird. Anyways, I'm playing Ahara My Keeper, a lovely Rosa visual novel. It's a sapphic, made by the lovely Sue Anla and Ebihime. If you're interested in that, go check out the game. It is linked in the pinned message in the chat and Twitch. But welcome in. What are you doing? You were just chatting. What are you chatting about? Yeah, lovely stream. If you need to go and like run, do post stream things like eat, sleep, drink, go to work, go somewhere. Don't feel obligated to stick around. I understand if you need to go. Ooh, we're just chatting random things. Yeah, I love yapping. It's great. Like I said, if you need to go, don't feel obligated to stick around. Readers, you too. Reach joy the reading of visual novels. Can you stick around? I do that a lot. It's great. I have rituals almost every week. If you enjoy, my voice acting of a little side activity I do. I like doing that when I read visual novels. It's great. Anyways, but yeah, we're just reading. Yeah, getting into bed with a lovely little Faye friend here. Pat 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 pat. It's a lovely lady. Doesn't understand human conventions, like it's fairy, and understand how people might feel about that well. Dealing with people who don't know that well. General, yeah. But yeah. If you go and do things, run, you feel like you have to stick around. Yeah, if you do, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
We had a fun day, but you're acting so distantly now. It really does feel like I've done something instinctive, though I have no idea what that could be. I'm not behaving different than per usual. I don't want us to fight. If rather I leave you alone, I can. I'll see one of the guest bedrooms. I know there's a lot of unused rooms in this house. She's crying. Oh, pat, 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 pat. Hey, baby, we love her. Pat, 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 pat. No real issue, though. These unused rooms might be a bit musty. I'm sure I can deal with a bit of dust, though. I don't have sinuses, so everything should be fine. My body is very convenient like that.
Fake giggles, but it's a morose kind of giggle.
that lacks her usual good humour. She's trying to mask her hurt, but she's not doing a very good job at it. Anybody could be able to dig past her bravado of the string of rejection that lies beneath it. Wrist smelled locked today. I've never seen her looking more cheerful. She talked incessantly as she dragged me about, and she took delight in the most mundane of things. She tired me out, yes, but I don't begrudge her for her excitement. She's enjoying herself so much I couldn't help but be pulled into her pace. Faye's happiness, as I've come to realize, makes me happy too.
Oh, good one. Like a little hole look at my throat is kind of. A second, let's pop this in. Whoop. Oh. What the hell? Just started. Why does my throat hurt? What the fuck? Anyways. I don't want to end so. I don't want to end so special a day on such a sour note. I don't want to upset Faye, which might be why I reach out to her. Wait. My fingers curl about on her Faye's slender wrists before she can rise from my bed. Paige, what is it? I was just thinking. I slow down my embarrassment as best I can, though my cheeks are still a little pink, before I reply. Love her. Ruffles hair a bit. You're right. You did stay in my room while I was sleeping. It never bothered me then. Maybe it shouldn't be any different now. You look different, but inside you're still the same. I've grown pretty cozy with the arrangement. So you can stay with me if you prefer it. Oh, Paige! Do you really not mind? I'd be lying if I said I had no reservations. This will take me a little while to get used to. But I don't want to turf you out. This house is pretty large and, well, it might be better if I had a bit of company. I agree. This house really is too big for one person, isn't it? I nod. There are so many rooms. It feels a bit extraneous. I don't know how you coped being cooped up in here since Miss Stratton left. Stratton left, that was the name I was trying to remember. Yes. Anyways.
It's been hard, I'll admit. But I'd rather not dwell upon the past. It seems like a pointless exercise now that you're here. I'm not lonely anymore. And you don't need to be lonely either.
Faye beams, squeezing my fingers between her own inorganic ones.
I'm going to stick to you like glue, Paige. Don't worry. Never ever have to feel sad or unwanted. Not when you're with me. I promise.
Oh, that's so cute. Flowers don't need to sleep. Their bodies are ethereal and not physical, and they're free from the mundane bodily desires that chain down us lowly humans. That's what Faye has told me, at least on numerous occasions. I don't think she lied to me. Why would she? But adorable. I love the lighting. It's so cute. The sun's like on her back. It's so cute. Oh my god. Faye? Hey, Faye.
My calling receives no response. Faye?
Nothing limbic.
Still nothing. I'll try one more time. Reach out, poking your cheek with my index finger, and say, more forcefully this time, Faye! Efter Faye! Faye shifts away from my intrusive digit. Her lashes, squeeze tightly shut, and nuzzle her cheek against the pillow.
Wow. So cute. I fucking love the sun and how the drawing is so good. Adorable. The babies. Screenshot real quick. Doo-doo. It's so cute. What the fuck? Look at the babies. Wah. I love them. Wah. Women. Fictional women, so cute. What the fuck? It's illegal. Illegal! Wah.
I'd already figured as much, but this confirms it. She's fast asleep. So much for Pharaoh's not being the beauty rest. I sigh. It's only a warm breath of air, just the cool air. 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 Lots of air. And so much for watching over me too. How are you meant to protect me from the imps if you're down for the count? Naturally, Faye doesn't say anything. How can she? When her consciousness is currently drifting about in the land of dreams. She's so out of it. I don't think my voice can reach her. I wonder if this is the result of our London trip. Did she tire herself out? I think anybody would feel exhausted after spending the day like Faye did, in a flurry of activity. And she did have to use a lot of magic to possess this brand new body. I don't know much
or anything
about Faye's magic, but swapping her vessel must have been exhausting. Taking all that into account, it's no wonder she's so weary. I wonder why I didn't think about this sooner. You shouldn't hide your exhaustion from me, silly. I poke Faye's cheek again. You might be afraid of worrying me, but I'm more worried on your behalf. You should take better care of yourself before you start fussing about me. I'll be fine, but you... Well, I relent. Draw my finger away from Faye's cheek. He's happy enough, I guess. My frown gives way to a small smile. My testiness softened by Faye's soft snoring. Faye looks awfully sweet in that nightgown of hers, with her dark curls splashed across the pillow. I can't stay angry at her. I wasn't angry with her in the first place anyway. Not really. I'm exasperated more than anything. Even that melts away when I cast my eyes across her countenance. Countenance? Countenance. Countenance. Oh. Give me a quick second. What is that? Countenance. Countenance. A formal or literary term used which is referred to a person's facial expressions or face itself. Huh. It's a verb, it means to taunt, improve, or give support to something. Cool. Countenance. Good to know. Glad you had fun. Glad you had fun.
Wait a minute. Wait a second. Just, yeah, try not to push yourself too much, alright?
I don't know much about fairies, but you're not acting very much like a magical being right now. This sleeping business is awfully human. I know they say that dogs take after their owners if given enough time, but does the same apply for fairies? Maybe Faye's been hanging around me for too long. She's learning all my mundane things, from my need to sleep to my need for food. I just hope she doesn't end up as pessimistic as I often am. I like her brightness in nature. I don't think I'd ever have it any other way. She offsets my more malaise quite often, quite nicely. This house was imposing before I met her. Its sheer vastness, but her presence makes it much more habitable. Yeah. It's a bit corny, but as I watch Faye sleeping, feelings begin to bubble up within me that I can't refute. I've not known Faye all that long, but she's become very important to me. I wonder if she knows how much she's helped me. Maybe I should tell her. She won't be able to hear me, but it should help lift a load off my own chest, if nothing else. Thanks, Faye. I know I've been acting kind of surly about you. When I've been kind of surly around you, but don't take it too hard. You might not know it, but having you around, it's been pretty nice. I know the situation's strange, and I'm still struggling to come to terms with it all, but you make this house feel less lonely. I enjoyed having you around. And I'm glad that I met you.
Oh. The babies, I love them. I love them, this little baby. Wow, wow, wow.
It took me a while to fall asleep that night. When I finally succumbed, it's with a sense of almost overwhelming relief. The tension eases from my body and my breathing begins to slow. My thoughts, all jumbled and disordered, are soon smoothed out. Smoothed out them. I've come to dread the night times. My resting hours, when they do arrive, are always broken, haunted by strange, unsettling dreams. This night, however, is different from the rest. There are no dark, sinister figures waiting for me when I lose consciousness, and I can't hear any ear whispers either. For the first time in over a month, I don't have a single nightmare. I wonder if that's because of Faye. This could, perhaps, be attributed to magic. But rather than any fantastical explanations, I think it's far more likely that Faye's company is simply relaxing. It's hard to entertain the gloomy notions even in the land of dreams when Faye herself is so relentlessly cheerful. I often caught myself wishing, throughout the day, that I could be more like her. Maybe, with a bit of effort, I can.
Oh. They're so cute. I love them. Wah. Wah. They're so good. I love them. I'm woken the following morning by the distinctive scent of English breakfast tea, coupled with a hand upon my shoulder. A familiar voice drifts through my consciousness, like a breeze sweeping through a field of corn. Paige! Hey, Paige! It's time to wake up, sleepyhead! I blink drunkenly. My vision is initially blurry, but my eyesight focuses once I've wiped my eyes at the back of my arm. I lift my head, feeling more than a little out of it. Good morning, Paige. Did you sleep well? And I'm greeted by a sweetly smiling Faye. She's already dressed, her hair neatly styled. She looks bright and cheerful, but it feels a bit excessive given how early in the morning it is. What time is it anyway? Ah! Wait, it's yawn. I yawn when I press my mouth against my bedside table. The hook there reads as Thursday, 7/18. I think it's not all that early if you're a commuter who walks in London. It's early for me being a self-employed writer. I have the luxury of setting my own hours, so there's no reason for me to be out of bed until past 10. Faye, meanwhile, doesn't have a job at all, unless you count guard in the house. What should you do your bed at an hour? You're a bit eager, aren't you? Look back at Faye, certainly self-conscious about my own slovenly appearance. She looks as fresh and pretty as a daisy, while I look like something the proverbial cat dragged in, then left. Mold. On the welcome mat. I'm still in my pajamas, my shirt sliding off on my shoulders. Ew. My hair is a mess. I love her. Big fan of off shoulders. Very cute. Talk about embarrassing. Why are you up so early, Faye? I want to be awake. There's no point having a lovely new body like this if I can't use it. Besides, I shouldn't have been sleeping anyway. As a fairy, I've really no need for it. It's quite the indulgence. I was wondering about that. Why'd you sleep if you don't need to? Well, about that... He ponders. Maybe it's like humans and sweet pastries? You don't need to eat them, but... they taste good? Exactly! I can sleep, though it's not a necessity for me, but I do feel a little guilty about it. Faye giggles coyly, all while pressing her fingertips together. I said I was going to protect you from the imps, but did a poor job at that. I can hardly keep them in check if I'm fast asleep. I'll strive to do better next time, though that might prove to be something of a challenge. Your bed is very comfortable, and it does feel good when I'm lying by your side. Your company is very soothing. I can say the same about you. Now I've gotten used to having Faye around, I'm a bit less abashed about her seeing me like this. I saw her fast asleep last night, after all. I suppose that makes us even. I doubt she's judging me. She doesn't come across as the sort. She's so sweet-natured. You keep sleeping with me if you want. Imps didn't give me any trouble last night. They didn't? No. The company might have been enough to scare them away. I didn't have any bad dreams at all. I'm happy to hear that! She claps her hands together, all smiles. Her countenance is so unfailingly cheery.
I'm starting to think she might make a good kindergarten teacher.
Give me a second here. Weird. Sorry about that. I'm just distracted by a thing. Sorry about that. Another monitor. Just give me a minute.
I can imagine her shepherding children about reading them fairy tales based on my own, or showing them how to dab paint onto a canvas. It's quite a charming mental image. Maybe I could include such a homey character like that in my next novel. I thought you might have had a bit night, and I kind of wake you. You looked rather peaceful. You were sleeping like an infant. And you were snoring, too. Huh? Oh, jeez. Oh, there comes the embarrassment again. I thought I'd seen it already. No, it's back again, in full force. My face feels like it's on fire. I wasn't snoring, was I? Yes, you were. I wouldn't lie about such a thing. We fairies are too pure to tell untruths. No way. How loud was I snoring? Rather loudly. You're making quite the commotion. I wish you hadn't told me that. I had no idea I snored. Hasn't anybody told you before? Not to my knowledge. It was since I shared a bed with anybody. Neve was my first, and last, proper partner, and she never complained about my snoring. Primarily, because she always staggered into bed at 2 or 3 in the morning, half asleep, and awoke half hours after I'd set off about my own day. I'm not a morning person, but Neve is even worse. Like at university, she was already missing her lectures. Wake up at midday with an achievement for her. With laundry worthy of laudation. Can't read laudation. Fuck. She's an adult now. Her sleep schedule seems every bit as distorted as it's always been, if not worse. Well, I'm glad I had the honor of sharing a bed with you now. Wait a second. I don't think it's much of an honor. Not if I snore. That's so embarrassing. Yep, like that. Touching my honor. If I snore, that's so embarrassing. I don't be so self-conscious. I'm not going to judge. Anyway, I think it's cute. You do? Yes, I'm fond of all your foibles. Foibles.
Weebles.
Foibles. Foibles. Bring to harmless quirks, eccentricities, and slight flaws in the person's character or behaviour. Being closely injuring, rather harmless. They are small, unique habits to make us human. Huh. Interesting. annoying ones. Even so, I'm not going to take umbrage because if you snore, you can do whatever you want in your own bed. It was very good of you to let me share it with you in the first place. I'm grateful for your kindness, which is why I took the liberty to prepare you a present. Here! Faye bends, then retrieves a cup of tea from my bedside table. A cup she must have brewed for me earlier. I made this for you. I thought it might help you wake up. Oh, thank you. I accept the teacup from Faye's hands and examine it. This cup of tea seems to have turned out well, unlike Faye's previous effort. It's a pale brown colour, and the scent which wafts from the cup is appetizing enough. I wonder what blend it is. I have all sorts of tea bags in the kitchen, cupboards. There's a bunch of fancier loose leaf brands. I'll have them when I fancy something a bit classier. I'm going to connoisseur, a fact which is well known amongst my friends. Christine and Sadie and Alison typically buy me exciting new flavours of tea for my birthday, which has left my supplies well stocked as a direct result. This particular blend of tea has a mild, slightly sweet scent. It's rather appetizing. The smell is reassuring. Let's see how it tastes. I bring the cup of tea to my lips, burn the surface of the liquid, then sip it.
Liquid.
The tea is hot, but not overly so. Faye must have let it cool for a while before bringing it to me. I was thoughtful of her. The flavour of the tea, meanwhile, is rather interesting. If I had to describe it in one word, it would be... gentle, maybe. It's got a rich, full body taste like a breakfast tea, but it isn't as so flavorful as a Malasa chai. Masala chai. Maybe it's a fruit blend? I can't detect any astringency though. I wonder, is this marshmallow tea? That's right. I saw some in your cupboard and I thought it sounded interesting. I had no idea such a thing existed. Not until today. Neither did I, until Sadie brought me some a couple of years ago. It must be a holdover from my 25th birthday. I take a few more sips of my marshmallow tea and set the cup down upon my lap. So, where'd you learn how to brew? From Lise. She's awfully fond of tea. She had all kinds of them in her cupboard, though I suppose they're your cupboards now. I made your tea exactly the way she took it. I steeped the bag for a minute, and it added a pinch of sugar. I didn't go for milk, though. At least I didn't like it. But oh, what am I saying? We're not talking about Elise now. We're talking about you. How do you like to take your tea, Paige? That depends on the type of tea. I don't mind a bit of flavours, but a bit of sugar every once in a while is fine. It pairs well with this tea, it being sweet anyway. As for the milk, I could pass on that. I think it dilutes the flavour. Tea tastes better without it. That's what Elise said too. She's very particular about her tea. Sounds like you watch Miss Dryden a lot. Yes, well. She looks down at her lap, fingers threaded. She was smiles up until a few moments prior, but now it looks like a cloud has crossed her pretty face. Did I say something to upset her? I didn't have much else to do during these last few decades. If I'm being honest, other than observing. I couldn't communicate with anybody, not even Elise. We'd been friends once, but after an unpleasantness with her husband... His voice trails off. She shakes her head. She doesn't delve into any precise details about said unpleasantness. But my conversation with Violet while ago has left me with a fairly good idea. She must be referring to Mr. Dryden's untimely death. Well, let's not dredge all that up. I don't want to talk about it. You should enjoy your tea, Paige. That's what I'm doing. I take the sip of my tea while Faye observes, her eyes wide. Is it all right? It's delicious. Thank you. Yay! I'm so glad. I could bring you tea in bed from now on, if you like. I could make you breakfast too. I don't mind washing the dishes afterwards, either. Washing with the floors. Are you sure that's alright? It's more than alright. Won't help out. It would be my pleasure. We... Our face, love her. I was thinking about doing a sport of housework later today. In fact, will you work on your book? The downstairs halls could use some sweeping, not to mention the banisters, and the garden too. Faye's brow wrinkles at the mere mention of the garden. And for good reason. Just need to elaborate for me to know how sorely stated it is. In... I can't read. This house is more or less presentable, despite the patina of dust which seems to have settled upon everything. The garden is still a war zone. Actually be shrapnel from World War II, or heck, World War I, concealed among the overgrown flower beds, and have been none the wiser. An exploded bomb hiding between the begonias would feel almost passé after my discovery that fairies exist. I'd like to be a bit of weeding, do a bit of weeding, if that's alright with you. It'd be nice if I could get the garden to something resembling order. I think you need to do more than a bit of weeding, if that's what you're after. I take another sip of my now lukewarm tea, and smile. But if you're that enthused, you give it a go. I think I've got some gloves in the kitchen. And some more Wellington boots, too. You'd best wear them. They don't get your nice new shoes all dirty. Yes, boss. Whatever you say. I'm going to do my very best. I promise on my title as the house's very own brownie. I'm not going to let this house fall apart. Not on my watch. I engage in idle chatter with Faye while longer. Sitting cross-legged on my bed, before I haul myself up and get started on my daily routine. I ran through the usual repetitive routine of showering and cleaning my teeth, brushing my hair, then picking out an outfit from my less than impressive wardrobe. I don't care much what I throw on. I'm not particularly fashion conscious. It's not like I'm be going anywhere. Nobody will be judging me, apart from Faye, and she doesn't strike me as much of a critic. She's far too good-natured to care about my oversized cardigan, or my old jeans, which are discolored and distressed from the knees, more through repeated spins in the washing machine than conscious design. There's nothing particularly special about any of these activities. Perform them hundreds of times to the point of tedium. Not so long ago, I was into the rigidity of my everyday life. That was why I moved to Eltham. I wanted a change of pace, but that didn't happen overnight. The scenery might have altered, but I hadn't. I continued to exist as I always had, a routine fixed in place, as unchanging as the taxidermy specimens in London's ever-popular Natural History Museum. For a long time, my life felt like a parody of itself. It didn't feel like a life at all. I feel more positive now, however, than I have in a long while. It's amazing what a single night of decent sleep can do for a woman. That and being awoken by a smelling fairy banishing a cup of, surprisingly well-made, tea. I've been feeling pretty worn down, but some of my old pep is starting to return. I can even feel my creative impulse of returning. I can't remember the last time I felt this positive about writing. It must have been an off-season Christmas miracle. I enter my office, then take a seat at my desk. My fingers are already twitching, my mind brimful of half-formed sentences and interesting phrases before I can get my laptop open. Several new ideas have been percolating in my head. Seeds sown both by Faye's sudden appearance in my life and the offhand comment Neve made the day prior. It feels almost like I've stepped into one of your stories. If my life feels like a story, then I owe it to myself to write it down. It might not be the bestseller, but at least I have some kind of starting point. I open up my blank document, and this time it doesn't stare at my soul like a Greek gorgon. I won't let it intimidate me any longer. Alright, Paige? You could do it. Baby steps. Then, I begin to write. Write. My fingers hammering against the keys. And as I do, the world seems to melt away. I don't check the numbers of words I've hammered out at the bottom left of the document. I don't check the time in the bottom right corner of my monitor. Now's not the time to obsess about numbers. I never much liked maths in school anyway. I'd far rather lose myself in the depths of a brand new story. I think about Faye as I write, and my move to Eltham, and the mystery which shrouds this house. I think about the imps and the malevolent tricks, and Miss Dryden's fate, and Violet's cryptic warnings. These musings all intertwined to create a fancy yarn about a naive young girl's move with her parents to the countryside, the strange and fantastical being she meets there. It's hardly the most original story, but the characters feel more fleshed out from the get-go than any of my earlier attempts. The winding countryside roads I conjure feel so real.
Real, yes. I can hear the rustling of the leaves, the sunlight flashing in the fractal patterns, the pavement, smell the sap which lingers in the air. My heron wanders aimlessly through these countryside roads, sulking. She didn't want to move to the countryside, but she didn't have any say in the matter. Her parents made the decision for her. They told her she would grow to like it, being excited by the wonders of the natural world, but all she's ever known is glass and concrete. She misses her old school, misses her old friends, and she misses her old life. The countryside might be beautiful, but she's too young to appreciate it. She's completely and utterly fed up with her lot in life. She walks, her face thunderous. She curses her parents. She wishes that things would go back to normal. She isn't interested in making new friends. She wants her old friends back. She isn't interested in going on any adventures either. She's a young girl, not in double digits, but she's remotely curious. In that sense, she's nothing like the blonde-haired Alice, daydreaming by the riverbank on a sunny afternoon. This girl, Natalie, I think I'll call her, is a city girl, through and through, with little in the way of imagination. She wears her auburn hair long in loose curls, and her snub nose is scattered with freckles, more like the life-size doll in Lee's atelier. She wears patterned dresses, all whites and creams and pale pinks, and her legs are clad in sheer tights. She can't stand the thought of getting dirty. Nothing could compel her to scramble about after a white rabbit in a waistcoat, or to take a tumble through a vast, dark hole in a subterranean world whimsy. Natalie might be the protagonist of my new story, which is an unwilling one. If characters could speak to the creators, she would surely demand that I rewrite her story at once. I want to go to the city. I want to go back to the city, she would say, her arms crossed, fingers tapping against the sides of her arms. I want to play with my friends. I want to paint my fingernails. I want to go back to my ballet lessons. I absolutely don't want to wander about the countryside, and I really don't want to be captured by the ugly, nasty imps. Pick a little girl to torment, why don't you? Yes, I think that's the sort of character she is. Haughty and impetuous. I'm very sorry, Natalie, but I'm your creator, and I'm the one with all the agency here. You have no choice but to bend to my whims. Right up into the sulky Natalie's first encounter with the imps. They cushed away in the shade of the sycamore trees, and pause. This seems like a good stopping point at the moment. If I'm feeling up to it, I'll write to them more later, but I'm happy with my progress. Never has a character come to life for me so vividly since I first hit upon the idea, which birthed 3 Christabel novels. Natalie, though still half-formed, could be more different from the meek and demure Christabel, if she tried, but I think that's a plus. Trying new things is a lot of fun. It's been so much fun, in fact. I'm surprised I ever found setting down words to be so daunting a challenge. The last 3 hours, has it been? Yes, it really has. I started work until after 10, now it's 13:05 now. Fancy that.
The last 3 hours passed so quickly. It felt more like 30 minutes. I've written 5,000 words during that time. Rough words, but words nonetheless. But not about Natalie and her grievances. But there's much more to uncover. I want to know everything about my unwilling leading lady, the imps, and the strange figures from the fairyland who will assuredly come to Natalie's rescue. How will she react when her life goes awry? What will she say? And what will she do? As the events in the story more or less blocked inside my head, I'm not sure about the specifics. I'll have to hammer them out while I'm writing. Each word builds up my characters, their voices, and their relationships. No noun or adjective is extraneous. Not even the connectives. Like the foundations of a house, they all contribute to the bigger picture. An overarching story is beginning to unfold, and I'm determined to see it through to the end. I'll have to tell Francis about my idea, but that can wait until later. I was stretching on my laptop and glanced out the window. It's a warm day. The glare of the sunlight is so harsh that I have to hold a hand to my brow to blot the roof of it out. I blink, and for a moment momentarily overrun with white spots. I try to refocus my gaze. The back garden looks just as messy as it did when I first moved in. It might be full of flowers, but they've been left to run wild. Straggly primroses dotted among dandelions with full, puffy heads, and teeny, tiny daisies. It's the sort of garden you would imagine on that old reality TV show. Gardening nightmares. More TV personalities talked over truly awful gardens before renovating them. I used to watch those sorts of shows as a kid, with my parents, thotted between them on the sofa on Friday evenings. I've not sat down to watch the TV in a while now, though. Lately I've been getting all my entertainment from my tablet. Lately I've been getting all my entertainment from my tablet. Do they still air shows like this in the modern era? I don't know. Not that it really matters, I guess. Normally, I turn my back to my disaster zone of a garden and while away my idle hours indoors. But today is special. The garden is empty. I could see Faye out there, kneeling among the tall grass, her dark hair shifting about her jawline. It's hard to see what she's doing, even from my vantage point. It looks like she's pulling out weeds. I guess that tracks. She did say she wanted to help out about the house this morning. She's not really dressed for any serious gardening, but though her clothes are frilly, her skirt is black. That should help disguise any dirt. I wonder if she chose those clothes for that specific purpose. But knowing Faye, it seems unlikely. She doesn't sort of plan ahead. This was probably a happy coincidence. I observe her for a few moments, watching as her dark head bulbs back and forth beneath the relentless sunlight. She's out, wearing fistfuls of weeds, and twists, tugging them up in such force she almost topples over. I can't hear, but I can easily imagine the surprised "Oh!" which must have accompanied her actions. I know as much about the gardening as I do fashion, or to say nothing at all. But Faye's form doesn't look to be the best. There must be a better way to de-weed the garden. Maybe I should lend her a helping hand. have no love for gardening myself. My thumbs are decidedly pink, not green. But I feel guilty leaving all the menial labour up to my companion, come fairy. Companion, come fairy. My garden in such a state. It's much more than a one-person job. I think the whole team of garden nightmares would have trouble getting to grips with it. Going outside might make for a nice change of pace, too. It's a lovely day. A bit of fresh air never hurt anybody. It might be a better job at shoring up my stamina and caffeine. That's what I've read in numerous articles about healthy living, at least. There's no point moving to the countryside if I'm going to be cooped up inside all day. Who knows? As unlikely as it sounds, I might even enjoy going outside. Just maybe. Ugh. It's even more tedious than it looks. I'll be right back and dehydrate. I'll return in a hot minute. Yippee!
And I'm back. Some more water. Let's begin. Sorry. Right. Ugh, it's even more tedious than it looks. Drop a handful of weeds into the plastic carrier bag. Faye liberated from the belly of yet another carrier bag, which was stashed inside another 5 more carrier bags, and wiped my sweat brow with carrier bag and carrier bag, carrier bag. No, stop carrier bag. Carrier bag is like a plastic bag, you know, a grocery bag kind of thing. Let's go real quick. Smells like bag. Bag. Yeah. What a bit of a ready for another belly of another carrier bag, which was stashed inside another 5 more carrier bags, rubbed my sweaty brow with the back of my arm. I've only been waiting for half an hour. If that, I already feel exhausted. Starlight looked attractive enough for my office, but it's even more relentless than I realised. I feel it beating against the crown of my head and the nape of my neck, needling my skin until it oozes sweat. You need a little hat! A little sun hat, come on. The sun hat was on your head, that'll be a lot, you know? Come on. The shirt clings uncomfortably to my underarms, and the knees of my trousers are dirty from kneeling amongst the earth. These trousers are an old pair anyway, and they've been through proverbial wars. A woman who took great pride in appearance would have probably tossed these old clothes by now. I'm so afraid. I doubt even a charity shop would want them. I don't care about my clothes getting dirty. It's not doing much to improve my deteriorating mood. There I was. Silly me. Thinking gardening might be a relaxing experience. How wrong I was. My arms ache. My back aches. I think I must have planted my right palm into a patch of nettles at some point, because my skin is turning red and blotchy and it stings. I knew the reason I'm not bothered to brave the wilderness that is my back garden. It's a veritable death trap out here. How long have you been waiting for, Faye? Not that long. Fine, not that long. Well, I spent the morning doing the dishes, including doing the dishes, cleaned the kitchen. I swept the halls and did some dusting, so let's see. I'd say I got out here just a little before midday, which means it's probably been about an hour and a half. You've been doing this for an hour and a half? I think so, yes. An issue with that? Not really. I'm just surprised is all. She looks rather delicate with her narrow shoulders and her slender limbs, which is more surprisingly stern stuff. I can't believe I'm losing an endurance test with the porcelain doll. Talk about embarrassing. Aren't you hot twirling away in the dirt like this? You're wearing so much black. It is somewhat uncomfortable, but it's bearable once you get used to the rhythm. You just need to get a feel for it. I find repetitive chores like this quite relaxing, really. I mean, you enjoy reading? I would say I believe that when I see it, but I've already seen Faye working her way through the weeds. She's making much swifter work than I am.
She's even humming while she worked. A good-natured princess from a fairy tale. What do you think she is? Snow White? Not necessarily dark enough. Been cut in a similar style. I wouldn't say that I like weeding per se. I do like helping out. It has been helpful. It's especially nice that I have a body that's capable of attending to tasks like these. I've watched this garden fall into chaos for years now. It used to look so beautiful back in the day, what with the neatly mowed lawn and all the flower beds. Elise used to sit out in the garden. During the early days of her marriage. And paint the flower beds and fruit trees and the lake out yonder. She would set up an easel, get out her watercolour paints, just stare at the horizon like, I don't know, like she was living inside a dream. She smiled when she painted, and I smiled when I watched her. Husband was always at work. I should have the children then. She had a couple of maids, but at least outshone them all. The house was in a far better state back then than it is now. It was so peaceful, the garden in particular. I wanted to restore it to the way it was for a long, long time. It seems a shame to see it fall to ruin like this. It would break Elisa's heart if she could see it like it is now. I look at Faye curiously. My head cocked to one side. I tried to bring the subject of Lisa striding up to her before, but she was curiously evasive about the subject. She didn't tell me very much. This is the first time she's discussed her in any great length, and I can't help but note how wistful she sounds. It's enough to make me wonder. Do you miss Miss Dryden a lot, Faye? Yes, I do. He answers softly, the fingers curled about yet another clump of tangled weeds. It's been more than 2 years since she died, and longer since last we spoke. She was important to me once. I thought it was important to her too. I tried to help her, but, well, oh, that's in the past. She isn't here anymore, but you are, and so is this house. If you mean to remain here for a long time, which I hope you do, then everything needs to be set right. I don't know if I can return it to its former glory, but I'll do my best. I don't know if I can return it to its former glory, but I'll do my very best. I owe the house this much. I just keep her. Ronnie's work is never done. And Miss Stratton, do you feel owed to her memory too? Maybe it would be nice if I could get the garden to a state she would be happy with. But she wasn't happy with much in her old age. I couldn't help her no matter how much I tried, but I can help you. And I hope I can make you happy. You don't have to worry about that. You already are. Then I'm glad. Faye beams, then turns attention back to the tall grass. The imps which dwell in this house are all anchored to the past. They're particularly fond of this garden since it's so full of bad memories. If we can pull out all the weeds, replant the flower beds, and trim away the droughts from the old trees, we should be able to clean away some of the negative energy. The imp's influence over this house will lessen, The powers alongside it. I might even be able to drive them away for good. If I work hard enough. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. The imps of chaos, and they're weak against order and cleanliness. You can see that, yes. I see. They sound a bit like Neve back in university. Was she an untidy person? She's awfully untidy. She'd always leave her clothes and her dishes scattered around. That room. If it weren't for me, she would have been living in a junkyard. Not as bad as she used to be, if you believe that, but her atelier is in quite a dire state. It's full of tat, and she can't bring herself to throw anything away. I had noticed that. Yes. But I think it's a good thing. If she'd thrown those doors of hers away, or broken them for spare parts, I wouldn't be in this brand new body. That's true, I guess. You hoarders have come with his merits, but she didn't tell Neve that. They'll only encourage her to go back to her old ways. And she was so lazy when we were at uni. We wear her pajamas for days on end, whenever we didn't have any lectures. Once there was even a mouse infestation in our bedroom. We get mice in here too sometimes. They live out in the garden, and during the winter, when it gets cold, they creep inside. At least in its the kitchen cupboard, so we infiltrated them and started nibbling away at the biscuits. There were dozens of them. Dozens? I pull her face. That sounds dreadful. How to get rid of them? Her son had to call an agency on her behalf. They came with all these traps, and they made short work of all the mice. I felt a bit sorry for the mice, though. They're cute. You might, but I don't. They're a menace. Oh, Paige! Don't be so harsh. Do you like their little twitching tails and their little stuffy noses? Stuffy? I'd like them more if they were twitching and snuffling outside rather than beneath my bed when I'm trying to sleep. Then I bigger about the supposed cuteness of mice as the sun beats down upon us. You resume our reading while we talk. You resume our reading while we talk. Though the work remains a hassle, it's more bearable than it was before. I cut some weeds. Between my palms and yank them, turning their roots free from the earth. My palms are soon stained green, but I digress. Let's disregard that. It does feel, with each weed I pull, that sinister influence which coats this house is starting to wane. Together, Faye and I are going to pull this house and its garden into the 21st century. The eerie pall left behind by Mr. Dryden's sudden, unexpected death will lift. And with some luck, the house will finally be able to breathe again. My days begin to trickle by slowly, like tea poured through a strainer. I fall into a new routine, which begins every morning being roused by Faye, a cup of tea in one hand. I sip my tea while chatting with my fairy harbour, the pair of us sitting comfortably in my bed. Once I consume my tea, I set about making myself presentable for the upcoming day, while Faye digs into the housework. I make reasonable progress in my new novel, and with my inspiration lulls, I help Faye with the weeding. pruning, the sowing of seeds in the garden, outside. The garden was in an awful state when we began our busy work, but slowly beginning to come together. 2 weeks into our regimen, and the tall grass has been trimmed, the worst of the weeds pulled out from their beds, the dead bounce of withered fruit tree clipped into something that might pass for order. The work in the garden is tiring, and I dirt the knees of goodness knows how many pairs of jeans in the process. But it's also rewarding. I'm not been converted to a die-hard gardener just yet, and honestly I doubt that will ever happen. But I like working with Faye. I'm enjoying my writing, I'm enjoying my time with Faye, and I'm even enjoying the housework. I couldn't ask for more. I really am fortunate. During one particular lunchtime, on a deliciously sunny day, I ventured into Eltenham streets for a brief brisk walk. Though I've lived in Eltenham for over a month, I hadn't looked around very much. Initially, I felt obligated to seal myself away in my study to punish myself for my inability to string a simple sentence together. I have overcome my writer's block, however. I've not had the time to do much else than type. I was able to hit a comfortable stopping point in my story earlier, however, and now the rough script of Natalie's adventures is nearing 40,000 words. I feel like taking a bit of a breather. I meet with Faye, who was dutifully waiting in the garden, and tell her about my plans. She's only too happy to accompany me, and so the pair of us set off for a wander. We pass through Eltonham's narrow roads, which are narrow and twisting, like snakes arranged at a board game. It's a lovely day, and the sunshine warms my scalp. My footsteps fall against the pavement with an irregular series of thuds, matched by Faye's rather daintier footfalls. Oh my god! Look at Paige, oh my god. I love the cardigan, it's so cute. Fuck, oh, the bag. I love shorter bags. Shorter bags are so good. Wah! Pat, 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 pat. We must make for an interesting pair. I ponder as we meander. We don't look very much alike, and that's being generous. I'm no fashion plate. I'm not even a fashion saucer. Faye, meanwhile, is neat and tidy, despite spending several hours out of the garden. Her short black hair curls about her jawline, and her bright eyes are full of all the joys of spring, or summer in this case. She walks with a spring in her step, her hands looped behind her back. She looks almost ageless, probably because the smooth, blemishless planes of her face. People can't help but be born with all sorts of defects, from eyes that are too close to noses, that are too large, but doors are different. Doors aren't created from strings of DNA. Their existence grab bags of their parents' assorted features. They're instead handcrafted, often painstakingly so. Neve took great care when she made Faye's coat vessel, to ensure that she looked picture perfect. Faye is so perfect, in fact. She looks almost uncanny. In contrast, I'm sure I look drab and hopelessly dull.
and I'm no great beauty. Being in Faye's presence makes my own ordinariness stand out all the more. If I were a few younger, I'd probably worry about people would think about myself and Faye. I'm old enough now, however, to know that most people spend their lives dwelling primarily upon their own petty concerns. Strangers on the street rarely cross the radar. If they do, it is only for a few seconds. Edmund's population skews old, and I've not yet seen anybody under 15 more than 50 other than Violet, that is. Sometimes older people tend to be less judgmental than the young. They've lived long enough to stop caring about the affairs of others. Don't worry so much about your classmates. Don't worry so much if your classmates tease you, dear, my mother used to say to me when I still had school to attend to and I dreaded it. They're not worth listening to. Remember, sticks and stones may break your bones, but names can never hurt you. Hurt me. I used to think this was easier for my mother to say, given she didn't have to attend sundown, but now I think she was on something. It's better to ignore all the noise. I've learned to blot it out. That's what I tell myself, at least, but... well, it is. A voice makes me pause. I turn my head, holding one hand to my brow, cast my gaze across the street. Standing there, attired in a blazer and a mere plaid skirt, is a girl I've come to know passingly, well over the month. It's Violet. I'm a bit perplexed as to why she should be wandering the streets during the midday wearing her school uniform when her school should have started a good 3 hours ago. What are you doing out here, Violet? Ask a stupid question, I suppose. I can see that, but why are you walking around Outnum? Shouldn't you be at school? I was at school. I just had to go back to the list. Oh? I frown. I've never seen Violet in anything other than her uniform, but I've not heard her actually attending class before. That's quite a surprise. Were you feeling sick? Think of life, maybe. So you came back home? As you can see. Jeez. Talking to this girl is like trying to get blood from a stone, I swear. Well, hope you feel better soon. I'll, see you later. Am I trying to shoot me away? Do you somewhere to be? Not particularly. I'm just going on a walk with Faye. Faye? Well, glances at Faye. Then she frowns. I don't know what your friend was. I've not seen before. She's from London. Yes, that's right. She came to visit me for a few weeks. I've been showing her around. Really? Bart's disapproving expression grows even more pronounced. Interesting. It's very interesting, actually. Bart's eyes bore into Faye's,
Her gaze sharp and steady. There's something disconcerting about her expression which makes me shiver. None of the dog walkers we passed commented on Faye. No her uncannily good looks, but Violet is no 50-something retiree out with her King Charles Spaniel. Violet's a teenager, and teenagers can be awfully cutting. They're not afraid to say things how they are. I can't help but feel uneasy. I'm afraid when Violet might say, afraid too of what she's thinking, but hasn't yet said. I can tell that she can tell that something is off. She must know that Faye isn't normal. All sorts of misgivings swirl around in my head, but Faye doesn't seem to share any of them. She smiles brightly, steps forward and says, "Hello there. It's awfully nice to meet you. My name is Faye, like Paige said, and she and I are friends. What's your name?" Violet examines Faye mutely, as immovable as a marble statue, before replying, "What do you want to know?" "It's common courtesy, isn't it? You know my name, and now I'd like to know yours, especially when you're a friend of Paige's. It would be rather rude to address you as, well, you." "She isn't my friend," I retort on autopilot, despite my mounting misgivings. I'm not in the habit of calling out children, especially not when these children should be in school. "Huh?" Faye inclines her head curiously. "But you do know one another, don't you?" "Yes, we do. I can't deny that." "Well, that makes you acquaintances. Any acquaintance of yours is acquaintance of mine. I haven't had a chance to get out very much during the last few years. I'd very much like to be more people, even if they should be in school. What's your name? I think Paige called you Violet. If so, it's a rather pretty name. I know a girl who once called Violet, though she was a bit younger than you. She was such a sweet thing." Now blinks her in. "Yes, I'm Violet." Bank strain. "Yes, I'm Violet." Violet replies, after a small pause, "Violet Dryden." Oh. That makes more sense why she knows what happened to Mr. Dryden, Miss Dryden. That makes sense now. Therefore, Faye did in fact know Violet. I don't mind telling you my name. Nothing to hide. I don't think you've been entirely truthful with me, though. Or you, Paige. Violet's eyes hard like stone, pushing into the cold countenance of Miss Norman. I barely had the time to let her last name register. "Dryden, did you say? Like Miss Dryden?" When she says, "Miss Woman, if she can be called that, is no ordinary human. In fact, I don't believe she is human at all." What do you mean?" "Oh, fuck. Pat. Who say it? I like this Lucy gibbet. Faye fights to retain her smile, which you can see begin to waver. She's been surprised by Violet's sudden accusation. As am I. Nobody else has given Faye a second glance during our walk. But now Violet is staring at her like she's seen a ghost. "Is this some kind of joke? If so, I'm afraid I don't quite follow. I'm perfectly ordinary. I'm one of Paige's friends and..."
You liar. Violet counters, her words sharp and unrelenting, like broken glass. Do you really expect me to believe that when I can see the other world upon you? You reek of it, just like my grandmother's house. It's all over you. You liar, you want. It'll do you no good. You can't trick me. You know what, you're one of them.
One of what?
One of the shadows. Perhaps you are the shadow. You must be because of all this. You, the monster that killed my grandmother.
What?
Faye takes us back, stunned. She holds a hand to her chest and says, in a trembling voice,
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sure I've not met you before, although... Did you say your last name was Dryden?
Yes, it is. Violet Dryden. My grandmother was Elise. She lived in the house Paige does, the one that's full of shadows.
Oh my. I thought she looked familiar, but I didn't think...
Faye swallows, shifts from foot to foot.
It's been years since I last saw you. You've changed so much. You're nothing like the Violet I remember?
So, you do know me?
Of course I do. You're Lisa's granddaughter. I had no idea you'd still lived in Eltham. It's a pleasant surprise, but why are you looking at it like that? I don't mean you any harm. I might have lied to you, it's true, but I thought it for the best. I meant only to protect my own identity. I wouldn't wish to make things awkward, Paige, but as you are a stranger, I will gladly tell you who I am. I'm no monster, and I certainly didn't kill your grandmother. The very idea was absurd. How could I do so wicked thing when I wanted only to look after her? I know Elise met with a terrible fate, but...
Silence. You can call yourself whatever you like. I'll never let you win me over with your pretty words. You might have instead Paige, but I'm not as trusting as she is. I'm aware of the existence of your kind as I was a child, and know better than anybody what you're capable of. I witnessed the result of your handiwork with your own two eyes. I saw my grandmother fall apart under your so-called protection. She turned into a withered husk of a woman. Then, when she was moved from this house, the shock of it killed her.
No!
Yes, you killed her. You ruined her life, and now you mean to do the same to Paige. I'm sure that's what you're planning. It's all the wicked being like you I think of.
No, I'm not. Violet, please.
Faye cries, but to little avail. It's plainly apparent that Violet isn't listening to her. She folds her arms, her expression dark, and mumbles. It's unfortunate news, though. I thought that you were consigned to the house. I didn't think that you could leave it. I was hoping Eltham would be safe from you, even if the residents of the house weren't. But I miscalculated. You were stronger than I thought.
I think you got the wrong idea. I don't mean to harm anybody.
You still did. You still are. I know what you really are, monster. I know what you want. I might be the only person in all of Eltham that knows what you have done, and what it is that you will continue to do if left unchecked. But that's fine. I'm the only person who can stop you, and that's just what I intend to do. I'll make you sorry for ever daring to show your face in front of me.
Violet, wait!
Wow.
Violet, no! Violet, no! Just leave the garden alone.
I cry out to Violet. I cry out to Violet. But she doesn't wait. Instead she turns. She pivots upon her heel. Fair hair, fluttering behind her from a breeze. Without further preamble, she marches away. Faye and I, meanwhile, were left observing her upon the pavement, beneath the shade of a tall tree. Faye looks so shaken by this encounter that her face is deathly pale, all the colour has drained from it, to such an extent that it looks like an old Victorian photograph. I, meanwhile, feel similarly perturbed. I had no idea Violet was a relative of Miss Stratton, that she and Faye had history. Violet was staring at Faye as though she truly hated her. When Violet vowed to make Faye pay, she must have meant it. I had never heard her sound more serious before. Now what am I supposed to do? Petto, the story reaches its final act. Ooh. Final act already? What? Oh, it's time flies. Jeez. What's over here? 31. Nice. I returned to the house with Faye in silence. My head bowed as the sun beatings into the nape of my neck. I can't stop thinking about our encounter with Violet, and of the bitterness in her voice when she spoke about Faye. I wonder what happened to make her mistrust Faye so much. Faye's been nothing but kind and helpful towards me since we met. I never had any cause to doubt her. But it's true that she's not ordinary human. She's a fairy. In old fairy tales, fair folk are devious, swindlers at best, and outright wicked at worst. They lead humans astray into their elven grottos, and then they ply them with fairy food and drink until their senses are addled. They infiltrate delicate, mutable minds of humans, filling us with self-doubt until, well, I don't want to pursue this line of inquiry for too long, but I've done enough research to know that these tales rarely have happy endings. Did I put my faith in Faye too easily? Maybe she's been leading me astray from the beginning. But to what end? Violet might not trust her, but she hasn't spent nearly as much time in Faye's company as I have. She hasn't seen how Faye's eyes light up in the simplest of worldly pleasures, the taste of a chocolate crepe bought from a street vendor, the sight of a funny piece of art on display in the Serpentine. She has been woken up by a gentle smiling Faye who had a cup of marshmallow tea. She hasn't seen Faye weed the back garden, or share a bed with her, or really spoken to her at all. For all her talk, Violet doesn't know the first thing about Faye. I'd like to think that I can trust my own judgments on the matter, but my encounter with Violet has left me feeling shaken. I think back to my conversation with Faye several weeks prior when I first brought up the subject to Miss Dryden. To read thought she usually is, she became only reticent when the subject of Miss Dryden came up. She clammed up and refused to give more than was necessary away in the subject. I wouldn't have known about her husband's fate if Violet had told me about it. Faye hasn't been willing to talk about it. I wonder why. I've been wondering why for a while, actually, but my wondering never passed my lips before. I assumed it was a touchy subject. Faye didn't wish to discuss, and I didn't want to make things awkward between us. I think I've been wondering for long enough, though. If Faye is hiding something from me, I'd like to hear what it is. I don't want there to be any doubts between us to make our relationship with her
despite the pains I've taken to cultivate it. And I don't want that to happen. That would be far too depressing. I quickly change out of my chunky green cardigan. It feels oddly stifling. Then sit with Faye in the kitchen to have a little chat. So, Faye? I sit at the kitchen table, one leg folded across the other, while Faye sat opposite to me. Her head bowed, her expression slightly contrite. She hasn't spoken since we met Violet. Like me, she must have been lost in thought all alone, and I can't say what's been occupying her mind. I suppose I'll find out soon enough. I was wondering. I leaned forwards, my eyes narrowed. I feel a bit like a police inspector, ready to interrogate a subject. If only Faye didn't look so sad, like a wounded puppy. I'm starting to feel guilty already, and I haven't even said anything. I don't want to hurt her. But hurting other people is an inevitable part of interpersonal relationships between both humans and fairies. What was all that about earlier? Would you care to explain? There's a small pause. They fiddles with her fingers. Her gaze directed at her lap. She sighs. Then she lifts her head and says wanly, "Oh, Paige, I thought you might ask that, but I was hoping you wouldn't. It's quite the complicated subject, you see." Complicated? In what sense? In every sense. Nothing. Only for me. In every sense. I don't like thinking about Elise. I don't like talking about her either. The past should be allowed to remain in the past. I don't want to go disturbing no ghosts. It seems gauche to dredge up everything that happened to that poor, unfortunate woman. So you were trying to do her a favour? In a manner of speaking, I suppose. But I'm not quite as selfless as all that. I didn't want to respect her memory, but I am being quite honest. I have another reason for remaining tight-lipped. I was closer to Elise than I first let on. Well, I had assumed as much. You had? Faye blinks. But I made so many attempts to avoid speaking about her. I know you did. That's what tipped me off. It wouldn't be so cagey if she'd been nothing more than just another one of her owners. And you did talk a bit about her in the garden the other day. You sounded like you knew her very well. And you always call her Elise, too. So that's what gave the game away, is it? Faye smiles vaguely. I've existed for the centuries, but I suppose I'm not half as good at subterfuge as I thought. You'd make a terrible poker player. Yet every motion shows in your face. Which is quite remarkable since it's made of porcelain. Dolls are known for being very expressive. I must be the exception then. Faye giggles, and for a few moments she looks just like her usual cheery self. I hope you can forgive me for my poor social skills. I don't have any opportunities to speak to humans, so I can't get much practice in. I can watch you as you go about your business, but watching isn't quite the same as interacting. and during the last 2 decades of her life, Elise was quite the hermit. She rarely had visitors, and when she did, she didn't speak to them very much. She spent most of her time in this big old house on her own, staring at the television set. There was little for me to observe back then, other than the presenters and the news. In 2 decades with nothing but the news company sounds like a sort of torture in its own right. I'm sure Elise must have had a hard time after her husband died, but you haven't had it easy either. Do you think? The smile slides from Faye's face to replace with something harder to pin down. Lips pursed and her eyes half-lidded. I'm not so sure about that. I was awfully lonely, yes. Drifting about in this large house with nobody to talk to. But I think Elise had it much worse than I did. She was such a bright, vibrant woman when first I met her. She put all the roses in the garden to shame when she smiled. She was so full of life. Until her husband stamped it all out of her. What about her husband? I leaned so far forward the edge of the kitchen table digs into my stomach, but I'm so intrigued I barely feel it. I've heard a bit about Mr. Dryden, mostly from Violet, but her husband remains an elusive figure to me, so ill-defined he could very well have been a shadow. I know that he existed, and that he lived in this house, and that he died when he was still a young man, not at 40. But that's about everything I'm aware of. I don't even know his first name. I know that Mr. Dryden died not long after moving into this house, but I wasn't able to learn much else about him. Oh, you know about his death, do you? I nod. Do you know all the details? I know that he was found in the garden. The doctor who called the scene said he drowned. That's what happened, yes. I can confirm it. I was an eyewitness. I saw the events of that night unfold in real time. I can't remember it all in perfect detail, though. This did all occur more than 50 years ago. At least the scream was something I fear I'd never forget, though I often wish I could. But how did you hear about Mr. Dryden's death, Paige? We're delving through old newspaper archives. You give me too much credit. I'm no detective. Well, it told me about it a while ago. Oh, she did she? I had to fly with her pizza. But after that, she was pretty forthcoming. She'd been warning me about this house since I first moved in, actually. I think she told me about Mr. Dryden's death because she wanted to scare me. She implied that he drowned under suspicious circumstances. Suspicious? A muslin-faced jaw tenses. Why did you think that? It was ruled as an accident. I think it's because he died when he was rather young. She said she thought it unlikely a healthy man of his age, with no underlying health problems, would drown in his own back garden. I suppose that makes sense. But I think she's grossly overestimating how hardy humans are. You're an incredibly delicate species. I should know. I've seen enough of your kind come and go while I've been watching over this house. Your natural lifespans are far shorter than that of us fairies, and sudden illness or accidents are often enough to carry you off long before your time. Men younger than Miss Dryden and far less deserving of their fates have succumbed in even more unlikely manners. It's possible for a person to drown in only an inch of water, I suppose. I shift in my chair, slightly uncomfortable. As a writer, I'm aware of the veracity behind Faye's words more than most people. I might have been living writing friendly fairy tales, but I once went through a period in university where I was enamored with the idea of writing detective fiction. Thanks to that, I poured hours and hours of research into the art of murder. There's a depressingly vast array of ways humans can meet their demise, from stabbings and shootings to poison, asphyxiation, and... Oh, a second. Just gonna... It's a delicate species, just like Faye said. It only takes a single slice of jugular to make us bleed out. It's not all that unlikely that Mr. Dryden might simply slip in his own backyard garden and drown, particularly if the incident happened late at night. But something about Faye's reply rubs me the wrong way. Perhaps I'm reading into it too much. It sounds a touch too defensive. Does she know more about Mr. Dryden's death than she's letting on? It would make sense if she did, when she's the keeper of this house. Curiosity swirls inside me. Curiosity which leads me to say, Violet knew a lot about Mr. Dryden's death, but she didn't seem to know anything about him as a person. Nor about his relationship with Miss Dryden. Could you tell me a bit about him? I'm curious. Oh yes, I have many stories about Mr. Dryden I could share with you. There's enough material stashed away inside my head to fill the whole book. Faye's voice takes on a bitter tone. Leans back in her chair, her expression icy, and says, That is very fortunate that she never had a chance to meet her grandfather. If she had known him as I do, she would have been quite as enchanted. Really? Yes, really. I don't say this about many people, but Mr. Dryden was a real piece of work. The only accomplishment in life, as far as I could gather, was making the people who cared about him miserable. Things he said to Elise. No, not just that. Things he did to her. His voice trails off. I see her chest rising beneath her glass with anger, while her fingers curl tight against her thighs. A few moments pass, while Faye struggles to regain her composure. She exhales, looks at me. Look at me, she says softly. I'm sorry, Paige. I don't mean to get too emotional. I hate to make you uncomfortable, but I can't help myself. I'm trying to hold myself back, but... Faye smiles wanly. I don't have much in the way of a poker face like you said. And few things in this world agitate me as much as Mr. Dryden did. By the sound of it, he still does. Yes, you're right. I can't deny that. It'd be very silly to attempt such a thing, given my evident disdain. I've never been very good at subterfuge. That's alright. I'm glad that you're being honest with me. Anything but honest. I try to be, at least. But I don't know if it always helps. My intentions are pure, but people rarely listen to me. Even the people I consider my friends. Well, welcome. Good morning. The cat babies. Oh no. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm feeling good. Feeling well. I'm gonna get myself some nice Ricola. Some nice cough lozenges. Ricola! Get two. I consumed one. I got two of you. I consumed one. I don't want to stand by, but I'm not sure I want to use it. I'm trying to be sparse with them. Cough, just throat lozenges, things. And water as well. I'm doing well. I'm reading.
We just learned, if you missed it, we just learned that Mr. Dryden, the Violet is a Dryden. In fact, she's Elisa's granddaughter and daughter, right? That was a fun realization to find out, and Violet thinks Faye is accusing Faye of a foul play and drove Elise to death in her religion. Kind of talking about Dr. Faye, about how she has met Mr. Dryden and relationship with Mr. Dryden and how she hates him. Faye hates Mr. Dryden. We don't know his first name yet. Kind of funny. But yeah, that's where we are in the story. If I have any story, yeah, yes. I have a story for each story. Everything about this. It's good. Mr. Tuesday, the one kind of distressing. Did you know? I'll show you later. Don't worry. I didn't appear. People are rarely listen to me. You're the people I consider my friends. I sometimes wonder if this is because I'm attached particularly to bullheaded individuals, or it's because I'm not a real human. It's easy to discount the advice we Fae folk. And you mean, well, you don't understand. This is how most relationships are. If you've not been married with yourself, you're in no position to judge. Yeah. If you missed it, the river was in bed. I'll show this to you later. The river was sleeping in bed. It was really fucking cute. As well, pat. I heard that a lot. From Miss Stratton. Faye nods. How do you speak to her, if you don't mind me asking? The same way I could speak to you. She had a doll from her girlhood, she's fond of. It had been a gift from her grandmother, and she kept it with her, though she was too old for dolls, on her bedside table. I possessed it. I was able to talk to her through the doll. She was lonely when she moved to Eltham. She was only 18. Her husband was more than a decade older than her. She was bubbly and gregarious at first, but she was ailing from her first pregnancy, and she had few chances to make friends. I pitied seeing her shut in this large house on her own, so I felt obligated to make her acquaintance. We started to talk, and we soon became close. It sounds a bit sad to say this, but I think I was her dearest friend during the first few years of her marriage. I'm sure I was her only confidant, too. At least meant a lot to me, more than any of this house's previous inhabitants had. Faye winces, one hand pressed to her heart, which is why it hurt so much when I saw how her husband had treated her. She didn't deserve it. Nobody would deserve to be treated like that. But Elise deserved the least of all. It sounds very good. It sounds like domestic abuse. Which is, not great. That's an understatement, I know. She was still young and trusting. And he took that. He took advantage of her. And he twisted her. Going by. I mean, look at the price tags. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm assuming it's very intricate. Handmade doll. You know, from her grandmother. Otherwise, she's gonna have possessed it like she's just a Eve made one. Yeah, you know. But yeah, I mean, I guess not too old to have dolls. And looks at my look in front of me. Look at him in front of me. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 centimeters. Plus 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16, 17. 17 figures in front of me. 17, yeah. They're magical figures, but you know. Like, that's tiny figures, but you know. Oh, this still count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Probably 15 minimum. Place I own. Upstairs in my room. That's point. I've got dolls. Let's look though. Anyways.
In the end, he went to life.
Oh, wow. That's quite the statement.
And he was quite the man. Ha!
Face notes.
I call him a man, but he didn't act like one. He was positively beastly, monstrous even.
Goodness. I'm not sure what I was expecting when I first broached the topic of Mr. Dryden, but it wasn't this. It makes him sound less like a man and more like a figure from a fairy tale. I wanted to see him as the giant from Jack the Beanstalk, a hulking figure with a deep voice and large fists, quick to resort to violence. Was that Mr. Dryden's true nature? What did Mr. Dryden do that was so awful? Why did you hate him so much?
I have too many grievances to list. What didn't he do might be a more appropriate question.
Faye laughs, though it's without humour. I've never seen her look so agitated before, or during the entirety of our time together. The cheerful smile. Cheerful, smiling Faye I've come to know so well has disappeared. It's as though she never existed. Her eyes are so hard they might as well be marbles. Cuddling. Binds of Fate. Music box.
Mr. Dryden was a louse. A louse. He was a drunkard, lout, who turned Elise over the smallest of slights, many of which were imagined. He would shout at her when his dinner wasn't ready in time. He would shout at her if the bed had been made to his precise specifications. He would shout if the rug was askew in the hallway, and he would shout. Oh, he would shout all the time! It was so incessant, I still hear him sometimes ringing in my ears.
I take it he had something of a temper then?
That doesn't even begin to cover it. He was even more volatile when than Elise's twins. At least they had an excuse for their shouting. They were only babies. Mr. Dryden, however, was a grown man. He ought to have known better.
Faye grits her teeth together. Her expression so dark it looks borderline murderous.
Fortunately, he worked in London, so he was often away from the house for days at a time. He was afforded a brief reprieve from his back temper then.
At least the children, and me too. It was only during his absence that the house felt like a real home.
Mr. Dryden, first it was Henry, was like an ominous rain cloud. He spoiled everything with the magnificent thing. The garden lost its luster. He stopped smiling. He trembled when he was about, and she had to walk on eggshells. Any offhand remark could set him off. Elise told him his temper had always been violent. Elise told me that his temper was always volatile. It became even worse after he moved to Eltham.
Let's go, Maitland. Let's go. Fuck this man. This man fucking sucks. This guy fucking sucks ass.
His job was stressful, it was a stressful one, so he turned to cope. The alcohol in his blood might have made his own cross easier to bear, but it's only because he felt more comfortable lashing out at Elise. I think the imps may have had a hand in the deterioration of his mental state too. They were just powerful back then as they are now, but Henry was an easy target. The imp slipped inside his head during the many late nights he spent intoxicated. They whispered to him, filling him with doubts. Henry was often away from the house because of his work, and in his absence he began to suspect that Elise had been having an affair. His accusations grew more vitriolic as the years passed by, and Elise tried to endure it because... Faye draws in breath. She scowls. She scowls. Because she was too nice for her own good. She was too young. She was too young to know any better. Henry was her first love, her great love. And she was naive enough to believe that he meant all of his wedding vows. She thought it was her job, as his wife, to stick by him, no matter what. She was loyal to her fault. The supposition that she ever would have cheated on her was laughable. It was laughable. Even Henry should have known that. But how short his temper. But he couldn't think rationally. The drink had eaten away at his facilities. The imps wore down the rest. He truly believed that his dear, adoring, self-sacrificing wife was having an affair, or she had only ever loved him. I often wondered what Elise saw in her husband, but he wasn't always awful. Sometimes he would rage and shout, but at other times he would seem to come to her senses. He would hold Elise. He would apologize for all the hurt he'd caused her. He promised that he would try to do better. He said he didn't mean to want to hurt her. But he was so stressed with work and he couldn't help but lash out. And she would smile and she would forgive him every single time. Like clockwork. That was the only predictable part of that tempestuous relationship. Elise continued to believe in him no matter what happened. That never changed. She was so devoted to him. Part of me finds it admirable. But other part of me wishes she hadn't wasted her youth on a man who didn't deserve it.
And tears in my eyes. Oh god. I'm emotional reading. Hey, press my reading my eyes, tears in my eyes, god. It's wetness, I can see him. She's a lovable woman. She was awfully silly. She could accept any amount of abuse so long as Henry paired it with an I love you. Faye sighs. I tried to help her. What could I do? He refused to listen to me. Henry made her miserable. He made her children miserable, but she still refused to leave him. She couldn't see that he was killing her. I was afraid he really might kill her one day. He was violent enough. Sometimes in his drunken rages, he would throw things, dishes, even chairs. Elise would ask him to calm down. He would grab her wrists or shoulders, and he would shake her. I am calm!
You shout at her.
I'm completely calm! If you dare look at me like that, you are supposed to be my wife! You have no business telling me how to behave!
Never struck her of goodness. He left bruises, some are physical, but others.
Mild domestic.
Faye sighs, as though heartbroken. Fingers curl at her front. This went on for 3 years, till Henry died. He drowned, like I told you, in the lake in the garden. He was taking a late night stroll. He was drunk, as he often was in these days, and he slipped. He lost his footing. He staggered, and then he fell. Police found him several hours later, but it was much too late to save him. She summoned a doctor, and he was pronounced dead upon the scene. I did feel sympathy for Elise.
I lit off Henry.
His death was a tragedy, of course, but part of me thinks he deserved it. I hoped after Henry's passing that Elise might be able to move on, build for herself a happier life for their children, but... Faye frowns. I need to prompt her with anything inane queries, like, what happened next? I already know how Mr. Dryden's life ended. You would know, Mr. Dryden's life ended. She walked away the rest of her years in the same house. She lived with a husband, prisoner of his volatile temper. She never again remarried. I doubt the idea ever crossed her mind. She loved her husband half as much as Faye says. I doubt the idea ever crossed her mind. If she loved her husband half as much as Faye says. She spent the years following her husband's death with children, raising them, but they never fully grew up. They left her. Yeah, yeah, it's how it is. How things were back then. And, I don't know, how long ago was, like, everyone was like, times are different. Times are different. We're never shit. Times are fucking shit. I guess it was that long, but still. Like 2 generations ago, but times are shit. 2 generations ago, times are shit. You know? Yeah. Yeah. They left her. And then, Miss Dryden was left on her own. It's a sad story, but how you look at it, it's such a wonder if Faye didn't want to share it with me. I never knew Elise Dryden, or a drunkard, abusive husband. But dwelling upon his past is starting to make me feel melancholy. How in the world must Faye feel? It's also horribly unfair. It's been years, but still I can't come to terms with how unjust it all is. Henry made Elise miserable when she was alive. He made her even more miserable after he died. How does it even work anyway? There's no winning with this man. He didn't have the decency to leave her alone after he drowned. She didn't forget about him. It drove her insane. Literally insane? I think so, yes. Elise was such a tearful, good-natured woman. She could even smile while living with a monster like a husband. But that changed after Henry drowned. After that night, I stopped smiling. That's me, at least. Still had some fondness to spare for children. But our friendship never recovered. And why is that, do you think? Well, it was probably inevitable. At least explain to me if what happened. What? But why? You didn't have a hand in his death, did you? Not directly, but I am a brownie. It's my job to look after this house and its inhabitants. At least thought I had not done my due diligence. So that I should have been protecting Henry in case anything went wrong. She knew about the imps. She heard their malevolent whispers. She feared they had led her husband astray at that night, out in the garden, and that I could have stopped them. She didn't seem to appreciate that I was so concerned with her welfare that I hadn't had the time to spend babysitting her husband. I don't know if she ever fully understood how much I despised him, not until he died. And then something inside her broke. Her resentment came spewing out like silage. Spillage? Silage? Silage. Silage? Eh? Silage? Silage. Is it natural? I'm not sure. Maybe 5-stock. Oh. President came spewing out like silage. I couldn't stop it. She turned on me because she had nobody else to turn on. She had nobody else to blame. I made for a convenient scapegoat. She shouted at me, and she insulted me. She lobbied me, all sorts of accusations at me. I felt like she was channeling Henry's spirit. She sounded so much like him. It's surprising that trapped in international. Yeah. It's definitely happened before, like many real relationships and the top toxic relationships before, I wouldn't be surprised if like this is like I don't know. People get blind. People are blind. There are people say blind. A lot of people are blind. People say people are blind, and there's a point where you like someone so much that you just don't. You just excuse their faults even after they're gone and such. I don't know. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. It sucks. It's something that happens, and it's like every relationship, straight and otherwise. So fucking life sucks, Life fucking sucks. Ugh. Thankfully, I don't have much experience on this, I guess. And also, like, that's kind of sad, but no real life experience of this relationships. Period. Besides the one, kind of. But I don't just really want to count that one, because besides that, yeah, I know nothing. Like right when it said, right when it said, I know nothing, Jon Snow. Yeah, pat. Poor Faye. Patting her on the head, yeah. Pat. But maybe it was the influence of the imps. When Henry died, they set their sights upon his bereaving wife. They whispered Elise in her dreams, and our relationship soured. Still, I tried to help her. I did everything I could to console her, but she refused to listen to me. Eventually, she became so sick of me that she tried to silence me for good. Oh no, that doesn't sound good. She took the doll that I was inhabiting and then... I swallowed painfully. I don't want to go into it, but I think you can imagine what happened. The door wound up, broken beyond repair. My soul was torn from it, and then...
It's a lot worse. I know.
Gosh. He sniffles. He's crying.
You can just use her eyes. Look at that. Look at those.
Her current body might be life-sized, but it's just as inorganic as the last. His skin was made from porcelain, her lashes, synthetic fibers. A normal human body might be comprised of about 3/4 of water, but isn't so for Faye. There's no moisture in her whatsoever. His skin is cold and hard like bone. But her hands, when he reached across the table to take them, soft and yielding. She was undeniably human, her skin flushed with life. She looked undeniably human, too. She sits opposite of me, tears beating in her eyes. She's a doll, but still, she was able to summon up tears, using ducks that don't exist. I have to wonder how Faye is managing it. I suppose it must be magic. She looks so utterly defeated in this moment that my own heart goes out for her. My own heart is aching on her behalf. I can't help myself. After that, that is... Faye swallows, tears trickling down her cheeks, or squeezing my hands with her own. I can't speak with her anymore. I had no other vessel I could possess, and if I had, it would have been in vain. Lisa had already begun to convince herself that I didn't exist, that I never existed. She put me from my mind entirely and focused her attention solely on her looking after her children. I could see her, but she couldn't see me. She didn't want to see me. The years passed and her children grew. They left her, and Julie was on her own. That's what she thought. At least, but it wasn't true. I was still there. I'd always been there. I'd always cared for her, but she had closed her heart to me. She was suffering, and I couldn't help her. Of course, I didn't abandon her. I did my best to protect her from the imps, but they've grown stronger than Henry's death. They fed on his carcass like vultures, and they multiplied. Henry's death cast a pall over the house. It was full of bad memories. It stuck to the imps, and in their malevolence, like a funeral parlor, at least bathed in them. She could have escaped, but she didn't. She could have married again, but she didn't do that either. I think she was more in love with Henry after his death than she had been while she was alive. She was dedicated to playing her role as dutiful wife to the bitter end. When she was wed to a corpse, it spoiled her. And at least, I knew. We did wonderful paintings in the garden, and always smiled at the bright died long before the sad old woman who wore her skin did. That's only so much sinister a person can take until they begin to crumble. It certainly didn't help, but I think Elise would have fallen apart even without their aid. The suffering for years, and the children to sacrifice so much for conspired against her. They had her moved to an old person's home against her wishes, and then she died. I'd been with her for over 50 years, but I wasn't able to sit by her bedside when she took her last breath. I wasn't there to say goodbye to her. I could never tell her how much I cared for her. I could never tell her how much I loved her. It's too late. I did my best for her, but it wasn't enough. I was supposed to protect her, but I failed. I doubled over, sobbing openly, her cheeks blotchy with tears, her eyelashes gummed together from grief. Watching Faye sob twisted something within me. For each and every cry I feel was like a knife being slid between my ribs. I almost feel like crying in sympathy with her.
What do I Paige? No, Paige, I will. I'm already crying for her. God. I'm already doing that for you, Paige. Don't worry. I'll do it for both of us.
Miss Stratton might have lived a sad life, mourning a husband who didn't deserve her sympathy. But Faye suffered just as much as she did. She must have been close to Miss Stratton. I feel that she cared, or she wouldn't have been crying so much. She cared intensely, but she was never able to tell Miss Stratton that. Miss Stratton died far away from Faye, in an old person's home, in Maidenstone, and Faye was left alone in a crumbling old home filled to the brim with unpleasant memories. They watched over Miss Stratton for years, perhaps hoping they would one day have a chance to reconcile their differences, but her wishes were in vain. Miss Stratton lost her husband, but Faye lost her dearest friend. Is any wonder that she's crying so much? I can't blame Faye for her grief, and neither can I castigate her for remaining quiet on so touchy a topic. Now, I can see why she didn't want to discuss it. Miss Stratton is long dead, but memory lingers still in Faye's heart. I doubt she'd forget her in a hurry. Especially not when fairies, unlike humans, are so long-lived. Lived. This is a weight she'll be carrying for years. She has carried it for more than 5 decades already. But she isn't alone anymore. Faye might not support me. Faye might want to support me, but that goes both ways. I want to support her too. Oh, Faye. I rise from the table, my legs unsteady, and pause by my friend's side. I pause for only a fraction of a second, unsure of what to do next. Faye's tears soon spur me on. I bend and draw her body to mine in a warm, tender embrace. I'm sorry, Faye. I'm so sorry. I twine my arms around Faye's slender waist, holding her close. Oh. Faye stiffens at the unexpected contact. My fingers tracing the curve of her spine soon soothe her. She relaxes into the hug, her cheeks pressed to my chest, and lets me hold her, still sniffing. Just going to get the front of my shirt down, but I don't care about that. I've never been much of a fashionista anyway. My clothes pale in significance to the face of Faye's misery. It sounds like you had a terrible time, but don't worry. I'm not judging you. You're not.
No, I wouldn't.
Don't you think I'm wicked? That I felt no sympathy over Henry's death?
I don't. I never met the man. It didn't sound like he was much of a gentleman.
That's putting it lightly. I can't even begin to describe how awful he was. I thought that his death was well deserved. At least I didn't see it like that. She said I was heartless.
Maybe she did say that when she was hurting. But I don't know if she really believed it. And I don't either. You're definitely not heartless.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I don't think you'd be crying if you were. You care about Miss Dryden a lot, didn't you?
With everything I had, and more. I didn't know it was possible for a fairy to feel with such kinship with a human, but she was so nice and sweet and earnest. In the beginning, at least. I wanted to be there for her so badly. And look what happened. Nothing worked out, and now we're both miserable.
Are you miserable now?
I was. For quite a long while. What?
It extricates her head from my chest, then blinks up at me. My bodies still intertwined. Our eyes meet. I know it's only inches apart. Wow. The babies. Pat, 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 pat. Pat, 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 pat. At break time. Pat, pat, pat. At break. Pat, 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 pat. We're so close. I could lean in and kiss her if I wanted to. They're so cute. Faye's eyes are damp with tears. The worst of her sobs seem to have abated. Her eyelashes are still welded together, sharp and spiky from her crying. This only serves to make them look longer and more lustrous. Make them look longer and more lustrous. She blinks. Then a small, wan smile captures her lips.
I'm not miserable right now. No.
Are you sure? You're crying quite a lot. You're crying quite a bit.
You raise an apt point.
They go softly, just rising and falling against my own.
I was miserable, I'll admit, when I was speaking about Elise. It's sort of been all that long since she passed. I haven't come to terms with everything yet. You'd think all these years would be enough to move on from a relationship, but I don't know.
Faye sniffles.
Elise was special to me. I really, really liked her, and I really wanted her to be happy. I interfered a bit more than a brownie probably should, but I thought my intentions were pure. I truly meant to help her, but my advice went unheeded. I thought I was protecting Elise, but maybe I needed her more than she needed me. I've spent too much time among you humans. I've become hopelessly needy. I'm useless, really, but
Faye smiles.
I feel better having told you all this. I've not had a chance to talk to anybody for years. I've existed inside my own head for much too long. Being able to speak to you has been hugely helpful. And being hugged,
not playing Monster.
And being hugged by you is better still.
You don't think I'm being too pushy?
Not at all. I'm the one who instigated. And anyway, I think I needed this hug. I've been starving for human contact for far too long. This feels really nice. She relaxes down to me. My arms, which are still looped about her waist. Then in a soft voice, she says, "So please don't let go. I don't think I could bear it." Don't worry. I was planning on it. Looks like you could use a bit of comforting. Do I really look that pathetic? I don't think you're pathetic. You're passionate. That's all. It's a good thing. I'm glad you think so, at least. At least you didn't appreciate any of my meddling. Maybe she didn't. But I'm not really striding. No, you're not. You're right about that. You're Paige Crowley, and though I couldn't protect Elise as I wanted, I'm determined to protect you. I'm not going to let anything hurt you. Well, right back at you. We're friends. You and I? We're friends. You and I? You call out at me. I don't want to see you cry. Do you really care about me that much? I care about you a good deal. You really have become very dear to me. Oh, Paige, thank you. Thank you so much. Yep, that's Paige Crowley. That's her full name. Yep. I have no idea how good it feels. You know how good it feels to be appreciated after spending so many years on my own.
It's not Paige as well, yeah. Paige Crowley. Yep, right there. I've seen Paige. Paige Crowley. That's a dilemma. Paige Crowley has a dilemma. For sentence in the back section of the game. Paige Crowley has a dilemma.
You really have made me feel a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not that surprised. With Abihime, she has some like really good names. Just good names. Good names. I'm not that surprised. Abby's great. She's great. We love her. She's really amazing. Just friends. They're just friends. What do you mean?
I'm just sorry you had to see such a pitiful side of me. The proud brownie. I really shouldn't be sobbing like that. I've been awfully human. Not that you're human. I don't know if I'd be able to get on with you if you weren't. You raise a good point.
Hee hee.
Alright then. How about this? You could spend even more time together. Spend even more time together, just like we're doing right now. And we'll make a lot of memories. I'll learn even more about humans. And about you. Maybe I'll be able to let go of some of these sad, bitter memories. How does that sound? This is wonderful. But I feel obligated to forget Miss Dryden on my behalf. She's special to you, wasn't she? She was, yes. She's very special to me. But so are you. You're more special to me than you know. I feel so warm and safe in your arms. And I want to leave. Is that a problem? It might be in the future. I want to go to the bathroom. But you have a few minutes before that happens. Until then, please feel free to cling to your heart's content. Then I'll do just that, then. Faye giggles. You really are nice, Paige. Perhaps even too nice. Is there such a thing? I think so. If this keeps up, then... He dips her head, then, quicker than blinking, raises her lips to my own in a soft, fleeting parody of a kiss. I might become addicted to you. I blink. The kiss took me off guard at first. But though it's a surprise, it's hardly unpleasant. I saw my embarrassment, which turns my cheeks pink. I turned Faye's anxious smile with one of my own. Really now? That's interesting. What is? The kiss? That too. But I'm more confused as to why you'd phrase it like it's a bad thing. Isn't it? I don't think so. I certainly have no qualms about you being addicted to me. After all, you did to me after all. I dip my own head, to whisper into Faye's ears. I like you a lot too. Oh! Faye parts her lips, but doesn't have a chance to finish whatever it is she might have wanted to say. That's because my mouth finds hers in a kiss which lingers much longer than the last. I've endured nothing like the loneliness Faye has throughout all these decades. I'm not yet 3 decades old myself, but I've been lonely too. I've been looking for somebody to fill in the hole in my life for a long while. Now I think I might have just found her. It's too early for any Shakespearean declarations of love, but I'm pretty happy with the way things have turned out. My second kiss with Faye tastes faintly salty, like tears, but it's sweet nonetheless. So much so, I almost feel like swooning. Almost, but not quite. I'm notoriously weak when pretty girls are involved, but I'm not that hopeless. Oh yeah. This is... Oh yeah. I spent the rest of the day in Faye's company, and to various chores about the house and retreat with her to our bedroom. Our bedroom? Oh yeah. Our bedroom. Nice. You wanna say? Our? You going to hydrate pretty quick? I'll be back in a minute. Maybe. Maybe. So la.
このバンドはゴロのスポンスのテクでお送りします。I see. I heard that so many times watching shows. この番組はグランドのスポンスの提供でお送りします。So no, I understand. What's that? What is that bullshit? Let's walk back. What is this Japanese in my chat? Over that Google Translate. Ah, I see. So do you want? That's a sponsor fucking thing that plays out the openings of shows. Yeah, I've seen, I've heard. Insert image of card here, whatever, you know, fucking McDonald's or some shit, Nikes, I don't know. Anyways, oh no, my voice, it's fine. My voice, it's fine, oh no, it's fine. It's because I was yelling so much as Mr. Dryden. Yeah, I blame Mr. Dryden.
It's funny. I was thinking as I lie beside her in bed that I should think of this bedroom as ours. When I first moved in here over a month prior, I thought of the bedroom as belonging solely to me. It was mine, and so was the furniture inside it and the hallways about it. I had no intentions of sharing this house with anybody. I'd had enough of communal living. I spent so many years in my rented London flat. I lived in a set of bedrooms all my own on the fifth and final floor, but there was a good dozen people that inhabited the rooms beneath mine. The couple who lived on the fourth floor was prone to having arguments late at night, which woke me up on more than one occasion. The family on the first floor, meanwhile, had about 5 or 4 children. There's so many of them, and they ran about so much. I never was able to count them all. Who seemed to have constant birthdays around the clock. The neighborhood kids were always coming over, trampling in and out of their rooms, squealing and playing games and listening to very loud music. I've had plenty of every time my writing was interrupted by the odd hours by the rousing strains of some princess song. I wouldn't be a millionaire, but I'd have enough to buy myself a can of coffee from the corner shop. Yes. Everyone loves the canned coffee. You see. I love that. Anyways. Living in London for years on end made me desire, well above all, a bit of peace and quiet. Out and being so far removed from the trampings of the day-to-day seemed so perfect to hunt at it. I wanted a space which was purely my own, free from the distractions brought about by other humans. And if I'm being honest, I didn't have anybody in my life who would have been willing to drop everything to move out and with me. I had friends back in London, yes, friends other than Neve, in fact. But they were busy with their own lives. Christine had her 2 sons to look after. Sadie's been going through a tough time with her husband, and Alison's been working nights at the hospitals. My friends live lives are deeply entrenched in London. They carved out their own places upon the planet, forming families, or in Sadie's case, watching as their families fall apart. I don't have a partner, and not had a partner in years. My last proper relationship was back in university with Neve, when I thought she and I were compatible, simply because we were both lesbians and we'd both known one another for years. It's a valid thing, yeah. Yeah, you don't have to, definitely. Surely they'll get along. Surely they basically, surely. Yeah, they're dating. They dated. They're just friends now. Thankfully, they work out with their friends now. Be better friends now. Let's no worries on mine. I discovered, however, that couples in functional relationships need more common ground than that. You and I worked far better as friends. There's nothing tying me to London, really. No familial obligations, no any romance. No my work as an author. My office is wherever I choose to open my laptop. I moved because I wanted to change scenery. No doubt on screen, rolling environs would inspire me. My move, though predetermined, my move, though premeditated, was something of a desperate decision. It felt like my life had started to stagnate. I've been in the same apartment in London for years. I made no progress finding a partner, and I've been floundering on my latest novel. The move was meant to breathe some life into my, at least me lived and knew. It did. Though not in the way I imagined. I don't think it was the move which enriched my life. I was meeting Faye. Without her, I doubt I'd feel any less lonely here than I did in London. Initially, I felt adrift in Eltham. I was utterly lost, like a young child playing Let's Pretend. That moving would make me feel like more of an adult. Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't even say very often, yeah. You know? Yeah. I haven't talked much, but it was like he said, no lesbians. Surely that's all we need in common, right? Just start dating, yeah, I mean, totally. Didn't really work out, but just a friend, those is fine. We're just, it's fine with them, You still doing your work. Girl! Yeah, not doing no, come on, girl! Anyways. Smacks you in the back of the head affectionately. Go sleep, bitch! Go sleep, Joker, like Morgana says. Persona 5, yeah. It didn't. Yeah, hope so too. I tried to find the well. No. Oh no, I haven't even said. Felt just the same as always. It's promised them, we're already in the end, but there's probably one more stream of content left. I have the achievement, that's like the final act, which is sorry, I reached this final act. Yep. The next stream. The next half hour, Got things to do. Yeah, we can just go to the end. Sadly, that means I could just read more stories, I have a bunch of backlogged still. I was already backlogged. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I got that. I'm going to end, yeah. I really have to. I'll go straight at the ends eventually. After this as always. I was so consumed with doubt, it must have been easy for the imps to prey on me. Was that Faye? I'd have gone mad too. Faye is here with me now, lying beside me in our bed. It feels better than anticipated to call the bed ours. This house isn't just mine, not anymore. My name is on the dotted line, and I'm the one paying the mortgage, but it's not my sole responsibility. Faye's here too. She was here long before I am, and she has the house's best interest in her heart. She wants to look after it. She wants to look after me. If I was alone, it's doubtful I could have managed the running of the house on my own, but Faye makes everything much more palatable. I think it's why I find myself embracing her. My arm is wound about her waist. We lie in bed together. Our room, is very quiet, which is to be expected, given it's so late. The clock on my bedside table tells me it's past midnight. The curtains are drawn and all the lights have been turned off. The room is full of shadows, but They don't unnerve me, as they did during the early days of my residence in Eltham. Instead, I welcomed them. Faye's dark curls brushed against my cheeks, both soft and clean. I've soap and shampoo. Hey, she bathed! She may belong to a plane other than my own, but her current vessel feels comfortably human. Her skin is soft to the touch, faintly warm from her bath, and her breathing and her breathing is regular. I think she's fallen asleep already. For being able who's claimed she doesn't need to sleep, she's been indulging it a lot lately. Faye's been indulging in all kinds of human customs since Neve bequeathed her a full-size human body. She's been taking meals with me, taking baths, and at night she curls up in bed together like two peas in a pod. We go on walks together, and weed the garden, and sometimes, in the evenings, we watch the television, curled up on the couch. We feel almost like any other couple. Unremarkable in our ordinariness. Maybe wholly uninteresting, if not for the small fact that Faye is a fairy, who just so happens to be inhabiting the body of a doll. Faye has been observing humans for such a very long time, however, that her otherness isn't abruptly apparent. None of Altham's residents seem to have spied that anything with hers at all, miss. Imagine this with our 18 human being? Yeah, I can imagine that, yeah. I mean, it's not like, isn't a stranger to writing our team patches for her games, right? For stuff before. I've seen the institutions in general. You know, she has just multiple so like adult things. She's my Yaoi. Especially Yaoi. Is it Yuri? Not sure about the heterosexual things. I'm not that. She's Yaoi. Her boys, her good boys. You want Tavi, her boys, her precious boys. She's been made Yuri. And that's not made Yuri. But boobs and such. Boobs, eyes. Everything happens, but I bought it. I played it. It's good. Play the game on stream. It's a Black Bernie. I play it like it's the safe board version of it in stream. I'm not dumb. I'm not insane. Well, I say that, but I have accidentally played 2 adult games on stream. I hate the scenes, but like, yeah. Amy looks so well. We love her. I played a good amount of her games actually. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 or 12 of her usual novels I played before. Roughly 11, 12, maybe more. I don't know the exact number. It's not that much. I played them out. They're great. Anyways. Great games. Great writer. She's insane. It's watching you to play still. Oh god. In fact, she keeps like cleaning so on. Just makes it. I can't stop. The longer it takes, the longer I get more, the higher the fucking list gets. Writing, she writes like a lot. She's insane. She writes. Abby is so good. She writes so much. She writes in her brain. It's insane. We love her. She's great. Let me see. Just have seen spied anything at all, miss. Apart from Violet. Violet seems convinced that Faye was a wicked monster meant to do me harm. She thought Faye had entered Miss Dryden's life, but I know that isn't the case. Faye's completely innocent. I don't blame her for anything. But Faye was watching over his house when Mr. Dryden died. Could she know more about his death than she isn't telling me? I don't want to mistrust her, but I'm starting to wonder. Curiously, I examine Faye's face. It's hard to see her expression in the dark, but it looks like she's grimacing. Her breathing is even at once, but now it sounds oddly strained. Is she alright? I'm starting to wonder. What is it that fairies dream about? It takes a while longer to fall asleep. When I do, I feel my consciousness being dragged down into the world of dreams. These dreams are akin to the ones I have when I first arrived at Eltham. Strange and sinister. In my dreams, I see two figures walking through a garden at midnight. These figures are superimposed against the moon. It is round and impossibly large. The figures themselves, however, are indistinct. The features anonymous. They might as well have been cut out from a crepe paper. One figure appears to be leading the other, much like the Pied Piper from the famous fairy tale. Pied Piper, the same name, you know. That tale ended with the titular Piper, wronged by the townsfolk, we helped, stealing away scores of children at night. Where the children went, or what the Piper did with them, is mystery. That story always used to unnerve me as a child. I always thought that there was something uncomfortably sinister about it. But I suppose a lot of fairy tales have eerie undertones. Children go missing in fairy tales all the time. Some are lured into gingerbread houses by wicked witches, while others are almost eaten by salivating wolves. Being a child, a fairy tale is no picnic. They have to use all their wits and ingenuity to survive, and even that's not always enough. They can still get spirited away regardless, just as unnamed droves of innocent dead in Hamlet. Hamlet? Hamlin. Not Hamlet. Hamlin. Pied Piper Hamlin. The figure I can see in the distance in my dreamscape, however, are not children. I could tell based on their respective heights, though their features remain inscrutable. The figure in the lead is shorter than the one behind them. They comport themselves with a good deal of grace. Yeah, they sure are. Like, okay, real quickly, I think which one is that? There's a lot of them, really. These are Brothers Grimm tales, so lots of things. I think I may have through my head. I assume probably Little Riding Hood, that's not really Disney. Cinderella and Beauty. Probably those two. As well. I'm just thinking about like The Show Ever After High, which is the Grimm fairy tales, but like even those are kind of just kind of, you know, bit maka, you know, fast stories go, you know, they still, you know, it's traumatized, whatever. I'm British, I'm not supposed to be British. I'm British. I'm fucking out. They definitely like. I'm surprised they definitely are like, you know, I tell some make it more palatable and such. But endings on the original, compared to the original, which is
maybe stuff will, you know. I was surprised by that concept at all. Great for kids and such and whatnot, but you know. A second. Sorry. Yeah, you definitely, the figure in the lead is shorter than the one behind them. They comport themselves with the good teeth of grace. This figure has long hair, which tumbles about their shoulders in waves, black as pitch, like spilled oil against the pale ale moon. They wear what appears to be a dress, which flutters about their legs at every step like a shroud. I think they must be a woman. The second figure, by contrast, is tall and broad-shouldered. They appear to be wearing a suit, their legs thick and sturdy like two tree trunks. This, I imagine, is a man. I creep towards them, holding my breath. The wind brushes against my cheeks, cold and stagnant, like a dead air in a crypt, and the grass about my legs undulates. I can hear the figures talking, though vaguely. Their voices carry across to me upon the breeze. At this hour, is that important?
It is very important, so it is very much so. Please, with me. I need you.
Can we... inside?
No, I've already told you to bed. Just wake up.
Why does it matter? I should be... own a house!
Please don't. Calm down, dear. You're...
I hate it when you say that. I am calm!
Then you should be able to talk. Don't shout.
Not shouting!
Dear, please.
The two figures come to a halt by the edge of the lake. It's a modestly sized lake, fringed by a large willow tree, which droops wanly over the black water. The man bears down upon the woman, his hands shoved deep within his pockets. So,
He rounds on her, his voice demanding.
what is all this about? Why did you come out here, Elise? You should know when I go out that I won't be left alone. What is your answer?
I know.
The woman, Elise, replies quietly, her fingers thread at her front. I had a feeling this was Elise and Henry or something of the sort. Elise, what am I?
You always want to be left alone nowadays. I want to respect that, but it's been hard for me. I feel like we can never talk to one another.
No, don't give me that. We're talking right now, aren't we? You're flapping your gums, and I'm responding. What is that, other than talking?
We're conversing. One another, yes, but are we talking? I would hardly call it that. How could we be talking when you're yet to realize who I really am?
What do you mean?
The man takes a step back. He sounds perturbed.
Who else would you be other than Elise?
Who else, indeed?
What?
The man's fingers clench into fists at his side. He's trying to sound composed, yet you can see that he's trembling. His voice is beginning to slur. He must be drunk.
Who would you be if you're not Elise? You look just like her. You sound just like her too. Now stop playing these silly games.
Do you think this is a game?
What else would it be? Now let's stop this nonsense. The last thing I need is an earful from you. Nothing I do is good enough lately. Not at work, not at home, and I'm sick of it. Now I bet you want to tell me I'm not giving you enough, but I'm trying! Believe me, I am.
Yes, you are. You're awfully trying.
Oh, don't give me that! Stop betting high and mighty! You have no idea what things are like me. You don't have to worry about working like me. You just need to stay home day in, day out. There's lonely hours that I paid for, reaping the benefits of my labour. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in London all week, working myself to death, and for what? For a wife who doesn't appreciate me, who doesn't try to understand me?
Silence reigns between the pair, broken by the sound of the breeze. I can't see Elise's face, but I can garner from the up tilt of her head that she is observing him with something akin to scorn. There's no begging and no scraping at her edge now. She certainly isn't calling him darling. Silence stretches on for such a long time it feels almost unbearable until Elise finally speaks. And what do you think your wife should appreciate you for? She takes a step forward. The soul is compressing the grass underfoot. Your constant bullying, your belittling, your insults, your general lack of appreciation in the dishes you break. Do you really think you deserve any of thanks for that? If you're more delusional than I thought. The woman continues to walk, and as she does, just seems to unspool itself about her legs like smoke. The man, meanwhile, retreats, drawing back like a wounded soldier. He's staggering.
Elise, are you really my wife?
No, I'm not. I said as much, though. It should have been obvious. How could you not tell? You've been married for 3 years. Surely you should be able to recognize her by now.
But you look just like her. You have a face.
You even have a voice. Everything else of you is the same except...
Elise wouldn't speak to me like that.
No, she wouldn't. Though she really should. She's too nice for by half that sweet, silly thing. That's why I thought I would comfort her. I wanted for so long. I wanted for a long, long while. Well, ever since you moved into this house. I've been watching you, Henry Dryden. I know what you've done.
Then you... The man.
Henry Dryden stammers, his shoulders shaking.
Who are you?
I am the good fairy who protects this house and your wife's guardian angel. I watched you abuse her for far too long, and now I mean to set things right. At least, wasn't very enthusiastic about my plan, but it's for the greater good. You need to learn some humility. She's never been happy otherwise.
Then you've come to punish me?
Yes, I suppose so. The woman shifts, and suddenly, I see her backlit by the moon. The shadows fall away from her face to reveal her complexion, wet and smooth, like cream in a cat's saucer. Her eyes are blue, but her hair is darker than the plumage of a raven. Her cheekbones are high, the nose aquiline, and her mouth, her pretty mouth, red like a rosebud, is brought upwards at the corners in a cold, hard smile. This woman is Liz Dryden, which is also not Liz Dryden at the same time. The Elise that Faye told me of would never smile like that, in a so self-assured manner. She doesn't look like at all like a harried, put-upon young wife. She looks instead like a demon. A monster. A wicked, malevolent imp. I'm going to punish you, and then maybe you'll think twice before you raise your voice to your wife. I won't let you hurt her anymore. The creature takes another step forward, while Henry Dryden takes a step back. His eyes are wide with panic, his irises darting hither and thither, searching for some means of help. But of course, there isn't any. The children have long since been put to bed indoors. The maids are asleep. There's nobody there. We'll see them. If anything should go wrong out here in the garden at night, nobody in the house will be able to hear Henry scream. The creature steps forward once more. Henry steps back. No! He stammers, piteous as a child despite his imposing stature, his broad shoulders, his powerful thighs. No, you... He takes another step back, now heaving precariously upon the banks of the lake. The soles of his boot slide out from beneath him. Then he falls. His arms fly upwards, his eyes wide in unspeakable, blood-chilling terror. As the glassy mirror-like lake unhinges its jaw and swallows him whole. I wake with a start, my heart knocking against my ribcage, my mouth horribly dry. And with that, we're gonna stop for today. I'm still pissed. Shook, not pissed. Annoyed that Tits Adobe ass decided to capture Firefox for some ungodly reason. But that's besides the point. That is going to end it for today. A very great point then, you know. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Anyways, here is the variants. Here's them sleeping together. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to. I need to go and shower and have food and also deal with the problem. There's a slight chance I might, on my own time, go reading through this all again as recording. I don't know. I'll have to see. I'll ask my friend how they feel about them being in the background of my VOD. Odds are probably won't. I don't know. I'll see. I'll ask them how they feel. I'm still annoyed that that happened, but this is gonna be cute. I know. And then this is the sad encounter with Violet that they were talking about. Paige and Faye went on a walk around the town. And also, I love her outfit, you're the way. And they encountered Violet, who can sense things and can sense that Faye is not human. And got quite cross and confrontational about it. And, yeah. We'll see. Again, the VOD might be up next week. Might not be. I'll have to figure that out myself. Hopefully a restart OBS will not have it capture Firefox for tits. I'm hoping that because I do like having having things in the background to listen to while I stream because I need all their sounds. Don't fetch the game. The game has great sound rate, so it's not. But my brain needs things in the background to function.
I swear to God. We'll see how it goes. I'll figure it out. Anyway, here's some kissing. Here's some hugging. I'll figure it out on my own time. But that's gonna be it for me today. I'm gonna go to the talking screen. I'm gonna stab you in the face. I'm gonna stab you in the face. As usual. It's happening. Look out. Here it comes. Alright. That's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing as well. What the fuck? Hold on. Oh, there we go. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for putting up with that. Fucking hiccup that happened. Again, I'm really hoping it will not happen again. It is just I hope it's just a one thing. I'm gonna restart OBS and see how it goes. I'll see what I might spend the evening reading through this again to the best of my ability to see if I can mimic myself. Probably won't be able to. We'll see. I'll see what I can do. But that's it for me today. We're gonna say to the person you were hearing in the background the whole time. Leary! Playing more lingo! The person you were hearing in the background the whole time and I didn't fucking know because OBS is being a bitch. I will. Either I'll either do it tonight or maybe tomorrow evening, just recording myself playing the game after work. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Well, thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you for having me be a part of your morning of Sunday. I assume maybe Monday by now for you, if the sun's coming out for you. But thank you for hanging out. That's it for me today. Next week will be more of this. I assume next week will be the finale of this, Our Home I Keeper by the lovely Abby Hime and Studio Amla. That or I might just go through this again. Probably not, because it'd be a different experience. I don't know. I'll see what happens. I'll see how I feel throughout over the week. But next stream from me will be Thursday, 9 p.m. EST. I'll be playing more off a very lovely RPG game. But until then, hope you guys next time.